Welcome to the annual DorkLair Best of Action Figures episode. I think we've been doing this for probably just as many years as we've been doing the Christmas one, right?
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, fellas.
New Year's. Yeah.
Wow, some weird light coming in here. I'm trying to figure out where this
you
thing
got a
coming
beam.
from.
It's like one beam coming in.
I don't know where that's coming from. Yes,
Pick
Lord.
you up, Larry.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm a little more holy than I realized. Let me see.
Yeah.
Hey, that works.
That's not bad.
That'll do. That'll do. All right.
So we got Curtis joining us. So we got four voices in the decisions of all of those categories. Let me actually run through what those categories are going to be. Hang on one second. Just to give people a heads up on it. It's in the description below. So it's best 1/18 scale. So we'll each share, or like 375, or like small, like little small figure. And then best 6-inch or 7-inch scale, best 1/6 scale, or something like very large. And then best figure under $50, best figure over $50. I kind of condensed that. Last year we had 3 price categories, and it just felt like kind of too much this time. And then best current value from 2024, like not what was the best value, but what is still available, and like what's like a really good value right now that came out in 2024. Almost like a recommendation for like a good value right now. Biggest disappointment of 2024, biggest surprise of 2024, favorite figure of 2024, and then what you're looking forward to in 2025. And we are going to get into a little bit of news first, but we don't have a lot of stuff on the news, so we'll be getting pretty quickly into it. Let's check into the chat. We have Dave Workin. We have Balantibor. We have J-Mac. Blake is here. Blake was on the other lair, the Legions lair, a couple of nights ago. We have Brian Carr, Mock Symbiont, Tom Williams, Jeremy Govier, Cloud Foxwell, Tom Belay, With All Faults, Jeff Evans, Steven with a V, Hedgehog Action, David Smith, Michael Carter, Rolando, Utah Toy Hunter, Ben G. Did I say David Williams yet? Heinrich Hoffman?
Got him now.
Yep. Joe Gonzalez, Texas 1911, Tony Horton, KB Toys. The nice. KB Toys is in the house.
Back in business.
Yeah. Let's see here. When I was a kid, we had a store called the Toy Works, and then KB Toys bought it, and it was called KB Toy Works for a while. Fortress Madamus, Rick Jones, Mr. Ryan Clark, Ryan P, Vince, Bat Force Grump, Hulk Smash Toys. Yeah, KB Toys, rest in peace. And Vonnie Rotten Picks. Sweet. All right, so any like new recent pickups you guys want to shout out before we get going?
I don't have anything right now. Yeah. I've got some stuff over by the door I got to open before tomorrow night, but nothing that I've opened recently.
You can probably see it over my shoulder here. I picked up or had arrived. I don't know if you can see on the shelf back there. You'd have to zoom way in. The new Scare came, and it is flipping amazing. Yeah. Like I had real doubts, like why, do we really need a second version of the same figure? And that now this is the same person who bought 3 of the new He-Man, so I could display it in all the different outfits. All three of the new Skeletors. Of course, I was going to buy Scareglow. I didn't get Scaremare, but that Scareglow not re-released, but the new version is incredible. And I don't know if Mondo is doing something different. I didn't get. I'm trying to think what the last couple were that came out. I know there were some QC issues with Tila. I didn't get Faker. and I didn't notice it on Trap Jaw, but it feels like on this Scare Globe that they're using maybe a different type of plastic. The tolerances on the joints are much better. They feel smoother. It just feels like just holding the figure in your hand. The feel like Bill, you talked about in your review, one of your criteria being how it feels, right? How the figure feels.
Hand feel,
yeah, it feels, even though it's the same, relatively similar, same cost as the rest of them, it feels like a much higher quality figure.
Nice.
I would really like to have an opportunity to see the Scare Mare and compare that to the Battle Cat that I have and see if it's similar there. But yeah, these things are, it's just really nice. So I got that. And then the only other thing that I picked up was something that I was on the fence about, and saw a review of it. It was really good. I picked up the Fractured Friendship 2-pack from Legacy. I had the Orion packs, and I didn't really care for that Megatron. It's the 967th time we've gotten that mold, but this is a retool of the Gamer Optimus Prime. Much better. I mean, that was a good figure anyway, but I really, really like this one a lot. So that's really the only new stuff that I got this week. I got a big pile of loot from Big Bad. I was thinking about getting in time for the show, but there was nothing in there that would have made my list, so I'm just going to let it ride.
Nice. The one thing I got was my Kickstarter for the Mighty Maniacs Kickstarter, the Dark Earth stuff, and that's actually the custom that you shared, Curtis, on your show Sunday night. That's from that wave. So
the one that you painted?
Yeah, the one that I painted.
Came out great.
Thank you. And so I ended up they had an in stock sale of that, and I ended up grabbing a bunch of the blanks for 15 each, so that I can just like work on painting and just like have simple things to paint and just to kind of like practice some techniques on. But yeah, I feel like that. I mean, I also got the Joy Toy Rocksteady and Bebop, but I've had those for a bit. I think I maybe talked about those last time.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I know for sure you really said how much you love the Turtles.
Yeah, we're going to talk about those later because they're in the news. I did want to say, what's up, Mike Uziel? I feel like Mike Uziel is never here. Mike Uziel, if people aren't familiar, is Figure Fix. If you remember the Pliskin Goblin head with the patch, and he's done a few other heads, and he's done a bunch of neck adapters for figures, and designer of the DorkLair logo, like the classic DorkLair logo. That's nice. Mike Uziel, amazing artist. He's done magic cards. Awesome stuff. There he is right here. Joy Toy Bebop is phenomenal. Yeah, I don't get a chance to join too often. Yeah. Welcome, dude. I'm glad you're here. Okay. So let's pull up some slides and talk a little bit of news. I will say this, by the way. This slideshow is like 100 slides, and it was I took a lot of time to do it. So I didn't have a chance to do my usual list of the channel members and the super chats and stuff like that. So I do want to shout out and just say thanks to everybody who has, been members and continues to be members and have been throwing in super chats and supporting. Very much appreciated. So, the book, The First 10 Years of Mythic Legions. This is I just made a video like a week ago, maybe not even a full week ago, of hold on to your seats because 2025 is going to be just absolute roller coaster of Mythic Legions, Four Horsemen, Cosmic Legions and stuff. It's just going to be insane. And we are already on the second thing. It's only going to be the 13th, right? So last week was the in-stock sale. We talked about that. And then next week, Monday, is the pre-order for the book that Jeremy and Trevor pretty much wrote. And then there's some Nate Bartsch stuff in there too. But this is the first 10 years. And Jeremy had a live stream last night and he showed off some of the page layouts and stuff. So like, this is what a standard page is going to look like. it's a guidebook similar to, you know, some of the Kenner guidebooks or the Masters of the Universe one that Pixel Dan did, like that kind of thing, where it takes you through every single figure within the first 10 years of Mythic Legions. And then there's bios, there's stories about the, you know, the history of the figures. There's articles about the line and different events and all that stuff, stats for the characters. And Trevor's been working his ass off for the last almost year, taking photos that to like kind of backlog all those older photos, because he didn't start doing them until Alethea, I think, or what, maybe one of the like middle waves after Erethia or something like that.
I think they said Alethea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, so it's going to be organized by wave. So this would be like the Poxus wave, and it'll start with like an introduction to the Poxus wave, and then you'll see, you know, the various Poxus wave figures. And it's going to go in order from the first wave. So the first part of the book will be, first chapter, so to speak, will be like the Kickstarter, and then it'll be 1.5, and that, you know, it'll kind of like go through the history of it. Some Nate Barch artwork will be in there, and they'll, you know, sometimes it'll be like paired with it, the corresponding figure and stuff. And then also some Trevor environment shots as well will be in there. I'm super pumped to have this book, to the point where like I'm probably going to get a second. I'm probably going to get two, like one just as my beater, like just as my reference to have like in the room, and just to like flip through and like look for parts, or just like inspiration for pop and swaps or whatever. Just and then another one to have like sort of on the shelf that stays nice, you know?
Yeah, it's a pretty good idea for using that for pop and swap reference. Like, what does this have? Yeah, that's good.
When I get mine, I'm just gonna sell all my figures and call myself a completist through the first.
There you go. So, yeah, and then you can wait for the second 10 years.
Yeah,
and then you'll be
Yeah, it's like a trade paperback. You know, I don't need the individual comics. So
I've always loved stuff like that. I love collection resources. I've still got, even though I don't really collect very much 1/18th, I've still got 2 or 3 different of those for Star Wars. I've got a lot of them for the G.I. Joe vintage. Of course, that big omnibus I got for the G.I. Joe vintage line, and then a lot of the stuff for the 25th anniversary line. But I love resources like that. And of course, all the Masters of the Universe stuff. But that stuff is just fantastic, especially if you're buying or selling, or like someone had said, if you're just looking for, you know, what does this part go to? You know, it's really helpful for that kind of stuff.
Just want to give it mention that Hedgehog give a $5 super chat. Anyone here if that translucent YOLO Park Shanghai exclusive Optimus was going to be available elsewhere in the future? It's sold out on YOLO Park.
To my understanding, I can't remember exactly what the number was. There are 2 or 3 different Transformer sites that I follow the YouTube updates, and the numbers that they were saying in which it was produced are so minuscule, it's probably not going to be available for regular retail purchase anywhere else. If you didn't get it on the YOLO Park site, the thought is you're going to be doing, you know, aftermarket, and it's, you know, just like anything that's short produced and only aftermarket, it's not going to be cheap. So kind of have to weigh that out.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the $5 super chat. And also thank you, Cloud Foxwell, for being a member for 19 months. And Joe for gifting 10 memberships.
Woohoo.
As usual. Thank you, Joe. All right. Where are we? Okay. So, so some reactions here. Jeremy is shocked it's only 50. Yeah, that's a good price. Somebody asked about the binding. I do hope a big heavy book like this is sewn binding, because I think typically they are like omnibus editions and stuff like that typically are. So hopefully that's true. But it sounds like it's going to be like a really nice quality, glossy kind of book.
Is there a ballpark for how many figures, like, you know, are included in this?
I
have no idea.
Did they say the number last night? I know it's 360 pages. But that
Okay.
doesn't. It's not 360 figures.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of
No.
other stuff. So a few hundred at least, right? Like maybe 2 something.
I would say probably just over 100. I know. What was it? When Cosmic Wave 1 came out, I think it was like 100 figures between Cosmic and Mythic. Now, obviously, there's been some more releases since then, but if we're just talking Mythic, I think you're probably talking, 120, 130, if I had to guess.
Right. Okay. And then this is like an example of like what one of the articles might look like, or this might be the opening page to the first wave actually. But it's got, like some photos from the original teaser that they had when I think that top photo is when they were teasing it as a 4-inch figure line, right? And so I'm sure this article talks about all that history.
Cloud says 263. I wonder if that's just Mythic or if that's...
Yeah, what was that line that came out before the animals and that kind of thing?
Boreas was their 200th figure.
Boreas.
But is that
a while ago?
But is that including Figure Obscura and Cosmic and all that stuff too?
Yeah, not sure. Well, that would have been before Figura or around the start of that. Anyway, somebody go count. No, I'm just kidding. Oh wait, hold on, Cloud. To date, up to and including the Reign of the Beast wave and the Ninian Infantry, Mythic Legions has a total of 263 released. So, okay, 263. All right, let's.
Sorry
for the
Trevor
tangent.
confirms that 263 through Reign of the Beast. So,
okay.
Is Reign of the Beast in here? Did they say that that's included?
I think he
Or
mentioned
not.
before.
Reign isn't in it, though.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
Okay, so subtract 10 figures or whatever, or 7 figures. All right. So this is a very short direct pre-order window, which is January 13th to February 2nd. That's direct from Four Horsemen Studios, $50 direct. They did say that this, I forgot the phrasing, but it sounded like this is a price that it's probably going to be higher when they offer it to retailers. Mm-hmm. And there's no guarantee that a retailer is going to carry this because it's such a different product that, just be aware that when the retailers have it, it's going to be more, and not all of them will have it. So Ashes is the last wave in there. Makes sense. Yeah, and then it's like, if you think kind of spiritually, it's like a turning of a page with that Reign of the Beasts.
I wonder if would Skeleton Legion Builder not be in there then? Because that was after Ashes, wasn't it? Or was that before? I can't remember.
Trevor will know. The book will not include Reign of the Beasts, Ninian Infantry, and Armory Experience. So it sounds like maybe Skeleton might be included. Maybe because it's kind of spiritually a part of the Necronominus wave. $4 shipping at Big Bad. That's correct. All right. So, short little window there to pre-order direct. That's 2 weeks, or maybe like a little over 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
And then teased at Legions Con and fully revealed last night on the Mythic Conversation show is the Silver Knight 2 Legion Builder. Silver Knight Legion Builder 2. And this is a Legion Builder. It's a cheaper price. So we've got the like the updated like limbs, and a lot of the parts are updated from the original, but it's very similar knight style to the original. Of course, we have the new shield with the Horseman logo on there, which is really awesome. I'm going to give that shield to my Equidron.
Nice.
I got to figure out how to get it in his hand. It won't
look so big with Equidron holding it.
Right. Yeah. I think it'll look great. It's just I gotta jimmy it into his hand.
I love those how detailed those shields are. The couple that they've done with the really really big pieces. Like I want to do some sort of display with like hanging those guys up.
Right. Yeah, and then you can take the front piece off too, which is cool. You could like, if you had a dio, you could kind of like mount it on a dio or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
that's true.
This, if you're not into that, this does, or if you want to do like, army building and not have everybody have the same shield, that does have that piece that I think it was first in the weapons pack from Necronominus, right? And then like it's maybe on a couple other ones, but you can swap it out and just have like a more reserved shield style. That face is the Andrew face repainted.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's got a couple different visors and
Nice.
couple sets of hands, nothing crazy, but this is a $30 Legion builder. Direct. So if you order it direct, it's $30. If you order 12, it's $325, which is a 60. Is that a $60 savings?
30,
I thought it was 35.
35, yeah.
Or 35. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically a free figure if you order 12.
Yep. And if you're looking to do your Ghosts and Goblins tribute figure, there it is.
There it is.
So,
That's awesome.
Joe says, I will be taking photos of this night swapped with other existing and upcoming night figures tomorrow, and they will be posted by or on Monday. Be on the lookout. Nice. That's cool. I know that Jeremy said last night that it matches the Blue Shield Soldier Deluxe set. So like 30 for this, 60 for that. You put those together, it's a $90 2-pack, which is in like a loaded $90 2-pack, which is really cool. Have we seen it compared to the Valiant Knight? It's going to be lighter than the Valiant Knight, and maybe Joe can take a picture.
It's also got that different torso. It's got that Red Shield Soldier torso instead of the Valiant one.
Yep. Different shoulder armor, different waist, different loincloth.
Yep.
I prefer this head. I find that the Valiant Knight heads are a little large, and you got to really like armor him up and like kit him out to like have those heads feel kind of like normal size. But
I'm assuming that feather is using the same kind of port that we've had previously on the helmets, which means you'd be able to use other helmet attachments, but I don't know that for sure.
I want to say we've seen a spike on top of that helmet with one of the figures, or maybe not. With the
visor? I don't know.
What does the Blue Shield Soldier have? Does it have a plume like that?
I'm not sure. I'd have to go
It's
back
got
and
that
look.
helmet. Okay.
And that's just a regular pre-order.
And Andrew, I don't know what Andrew has on the back of his.
Right,
So.
Andrew. Maybe that's the one. There's definitely one with a spike, I think. Anyway, yeah, so this is also part of that window. So this is like one of the shortest windows they've ever done for a figure pre-order. So kind of like I'd be on the lookout here to snag this one because there's not a lot of time to pre-order this thing. All right.
Yeah, Joe said Andrew has a spike and it should fit all the helmet toppers. So that's awesome.
Okay, cool.
And the plumes. So
Nice. Yeah. So short pre-order window for this. It's been relentless already. Like I made that video the day before the in stock drop, and then this was like announced like the day after.
well, and you guessed at some stuff too, and it kind of sounded like from what Jeremy was saying that you got a lot of it right. So
I think I missed the beginning part. I have to rewatch.
Yeah,
that.
he told people to go watch your video, and he said I was watching through there. He goes he didn't get it all right, but he got a lot of it right. So
yeah. And obviously, like some stuff will probably be delayed, and I mentioned that in the video. But it's no matter what, even if 2 waves don't drop this year, like and get delayed till like early next year or something, it's still a massive year of just stuff being delivered. Thank God. Like this is where I'm like super excited that they take my money advance, because if
Mhm.
I was paying for all this stuff now, I'd be screwed.
Yeah, no, past bill paid for that.
Yeah, exactly. Current bill is selling stuff that is paying for it too. All right, so then I guess one question is like that I don't think they're going to reveal just yet until probably February 3rd is what will the price of the Legion builder be for retail? And I was kind of contemplating this earlier. Is it going to be the standard 45, or did they say at some point that they might be lowering that price to try to make it a little gap between that and the standard figures, because they've always been really high.
I'm not sure where it's going to be because they also raised the price of this from a normal builder. Like normally it's 27, I think, or 26, and this is 30. So, but they're also, trying to lower the retail prices. I don't know. We'll have to see when
I can see 40.
But I would say this is definitely going to be your best price, especially if you want a bunch of them. That all in, you basically get a little over one for free. So.
Yeah, that's pretty nice to do that.
Split it with a friend, and then if you're close enough, that $36 savings or whatever, it's gonna, pay for the shipping.
Yeah. Now they did say that these two, the book and the figure, are going to ship separately.
Yes.
The book will be done towards the end of summer, and the figure is going to be more like towards the end of the year. So
I'm so excited for that turnaround on the book. Like the fact that we should have that before Legion's Con.
The fact that Trevor's still taking photos today,
right?
And they expect to have it to us by the end of summer.
Printing a book is a lot. It's pretty fast. Like it's not like that everything is already. They know how to do everything. When you have a figure, they have to in some ways figure it all out over time as they go. So a book turnaround can be pretty quick. I'm excited that that's going to be this year for sure. And it's, another thing that's shipping this year.
Yeah, they won't have a problem pushing that out. Steph and I, with our, I told you about our publishing thing we're doing, and a book that we put together for her stepdad. We published a book of his writings as a Christmas present. And from the time once we got everything formatted and submitted, I mean, we had the physical hardback in our hand less than 2 weeks later.
Wow. So this was a comment. We will not be making a lot of extras of this figure, so get them with a pre-order ASAP. And that's something Jeremy's been saying in general about a lot of the recent stuff. They are kind of making less and less extras because there's so much always coming that they don't really have a lot of warehouse space anymore. They're just kind of turning stuff around in the warehouse, and so they have had to order less extras. So I think the thing about conventions and the raising of the convention prices, it's going to have a different feel than it used to, because I don't think they're going to have a lot of this stuff there. It's not going to be like it used to be where they just have tons of previous wave stuff. I feel like the conventions, it's going to probably be a lot of the most current stuff.
Well, I think the other side is that you're not going to have people, I don't think, buying wagons of stuff at the shows, because it's going to be the same prices you can get from retailers. So, I think there's going to be a real different dynamic when it comes to these show prices now.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how this works out. But he did mention last night, the Ashes wave, I guess all of it is out of stock on Big Bad Toy Store right now. So
and so when you see that, now that these waves are going to be kind of a little bit harder to find and potentially selling out at retailers, finding them at a convention for retail price is going to be appealing to a lot of people in a different way than it was to get them at the pre-order at the direct price. So that kind of dynamic is definitely going to shift. So it'll be interesting to see what the price ends up being for retail. I'm thinking it could be 40, but that's probably just wishful thinking, because I've always been super down on those $45 builder prices. It just never made sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to buy a builder, you really want to buy it for the direct order price. So
yeah.
because the whole idea is get these things with less paint apps, cheaper price, and then you can customize it. But once it gets up to that $40-something range, you're really talking standard figure pricing almost. So
yeah, and I mean, right now, you can just go on Store Horseman and buy 26 or 27. I forget what they are right now, but like those builder priced builders, it's like it's perfect. If you just want to make a custom, you can go on, buy a couple figures, and boom, you're done. It's sweet. We're in that like dream zone of like what people used to want a long time ago with like the evergreen situation. At least for those builders that are in stock. Let's see here. They always seem to have some stock once released. Yeah, that is true.
I mean,
that does happen.
Cancel their pre-orders as soon as they get the notification and stuff like that. I mean,
that always does happen. The question is, will they stick around, or or will they just sell right out again?
I think what Jeremy was getting at last night is that even if you're not going to order directly from the Horseman, place your pre-order from somebody. Like even if you place your pre-order through Big Bad Toy Store, they're not taking your money. There's no non-refundable deposit or anything, but at least it gives them an idea of the count that they need to order. Otherwise, they're ordering blindly, and it may not be enough. So
yeah, and another factor is they basically lowered the minimum order because they shrunk the cases from 24 to 12. And it's I believe it's still the same number of cases. So if a retailer wants to place an order, they can order half as many and still be able to place that order now. And so you could potentially see just for that reason, some of the smaller retailers at least having fewer and fewer figures too. Because like in the past, it might have been a situation where they might have ordered more than they wanted just so that they could have some. Right. Any last thoughts on this?
The last thing I would throw out here is that, like, for me, the thing that's like, I've got a lot of knights coming in with Necro and All Stars, and so that's the thing that tells me, hey, maybe I don't need this because I got a bunch of knights coming
Pump
in.
the brake on the knights.
But then you got that shield, and that shield is the unique piece on this that it's like, man, how do you not have a few of these Horseman shields?
Yeah, I know. Well, like as always, people part things out.
Oh yeah,
and it's possible to get them in trades and stuff. So, like they'll be available.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. I did want to shout out something we talked about last week. I just want to put it again on people's radars in case they weren't around. Cursed Dead Kickstarter is going on right now. I think it passed 50,000 a couple of days ago. I think it started on the 1st. So it's been just like a little over a week now. So that's pretty good movement on the Kickstarter. It's pretty high though. It's like 160,
175. Yeah, I'm just looking at it now.
So it's got a ways to go. So support it, get in on it early if you want these. You got the basic ones and then you've got the deluxe ones. So basics are 40 and the deluxe are 85. And go support it. These guys are going to be on this show the next regular week. So I think it's the 22nd, 2 weeks. Is that the date? 2 weeks from today? Is that the 22nd? Is that right? Or no?
23rd.
23rd. Okay. So they'll be on the 23rd. And then we've got these Medi Toys, Memory Toys, Goblins that have been teased for a while that are now up for pre-order, at least on VC Toys box. I haven't seen them on 5K Toys yet or Big Bad. And I know both of those usually have Medi Toys stuff. But you've got like this guy, I think they're calling the butcher. It's like a cook, really. He's got veggies.
It's cool looking. That's what he is.
Yeah, he is. And then you've got the thief, I believe. And he's got some like explosives and stuff. And then you've got the warrior or the soldier or something like that. And you can kind of see his loadout. And these are what was it? I think they're about $60 each on or 57, I believe. 57 shipped on VC Toys box. It's like $17 deposit and then a $40 payment when it ships, and that includes shipping. And then there's like a price for all three together, which is like a little bit less. But that's the only. Have you guys seen these on any other sites? I know you're probably not even looking, but
no, I definitely haven't seen it come up on 5K. That's normally where I would get this stuff.
Yeah.
No.
I do order from VC Toys box and 5K, and I've always had good experiences with both. So I haven't ordered them yet, but I'll probably order them from VC.
I do think the paint job on the face is it looks very Derek Stringer. Like, I don't know if you've paid attention to like his goblins that he paints in the Cabal, but he always gives them those like lighter colored nose and ears, and it looks just like that.
So I actually have one right here. Hang on a second. Let's go to this. And that's one of his. So this was one of the ones I won. I still haven't put it together yet, but in the Cabal Cares Toys for Tots thing, I mean this was in it, and this was in it, and then this was in it. It was like the most amazing, and a figure and a Goblin Legion builder. It was like most incredible, and I totally missed that part of the stream. Like I didn't really get to watch the stream, and then Colin was like, "Do you want to know what you won, or just send it?" And I was like, "Just send it." And I opened the box, and all this stuff was in it. It's freaking amazing. Like it's got to be one of the best prizes in that whole thing. Okay, back to this. Yep.
Someone asked, height known, will they scale with Legions?
Yes. So they are like pretty much the exact height. I looked it up. It was like I don't know, I can't like recite it, but it was like pretty much exactly like right around 5 inches. And then I measured a Legion's goblin, and that was right around 5 inches. They were very, very close.
Cool.
Okay, let's see here. And then moving into 1/18 scale, the line that I've been very excited about lately is the Joy Toy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And this is Krang, and he's appropriately large. So that 16 centimeters is 6 inches. So this is a 4-inch line, and that's a 6-inch figure. So this is a nice, big, chunky, for the scale, Krang figure. And it's got that little like walker. And then there's the full loadout. This one is on Locker Toys LT Cave for $50, or maybe it's like the retail is 15 and it's like a pre-order deal for 47 or something like that. And then you have.
I love that they got the little walker with him there too.
Right,
Yeah.
This guy.
That's nice.
It's so cool. Any other thoughts on this?
I think it's pretty awesome.
I love that. I love that line. Like if I had room to collect another line, like every single release from that's come out has just been unbelievable. And when I saw that, and what was it, Toka and Slash that they showed at the same time, those things are just ridiculous. Every single thing that they've done has been a banger. The loadouts, I love the bases. The bases are great. But then the accessory loadout, like if you're a big Turtles fan, I don't see how you can't jump all over this line with both feet. Is beautiful. Those things are awesome.
I think the details on them are fantastic. I can't do that scale. Like I can't get into another scale.
Yeah, if I was gonna be displaying 1/18th, I'd unpack my GI Joe 25th or my Star Wars vintage collection series. I just don't have room. But those are awesome.
Yeah, I got plenty of turtles, but these look awesome. I like the android body's head sculpt. I don't know why it looks like perfect to me. It's so like, tiny, but yeah.
Well, when Bill was talking about the regular turtles last week or the week before, and just the detail on them, the first time I saw them, I thought they were 1/12. Just looking at the pictures, because you just don't see this kind of detail in 1/18th in 1/18th line. It's really, really awesome.
You gotta get like, so obviously the other Joy Toy figures, like their Warhammer stuff, like it is so, the paintwork on them is incredible. And then something like Acid Rain falls into this kind of category as well. It's like, they are so nice. Hiya Toys,
I've had is that G.I. Joe line that they've been doing, kind of same quality.
Yeah, and I've had a few Hiya Toys, and I haven't been super impressed, but it's been a long time, so I need to like maybe try out, maybe like pick up a Star Trek figure or two from them, just to kind of see if they've improved.
Yeah, I feel like from time to time you have to, if you see a design you like, I think once in a while you have to just go back and take a chance, because like I said, I've been collecting the Mondo Master stuff since the first release, and this latest one, it really feels like, I mean, there was nothing wrong with the product before, but you know, that I don't think any of these companies are actively trying not to improve. So yeah, look at this. This is ridiculous.
Slash.
This is awesome. Yeah. Give me a break.
Looking awesome. So nice. Also comes with a ton of stuff. Lobster sandwich. And then
Toka. Yeah, if they're doing that, you know that the razor's coming. So they just look at the detail. Look at the sculpt and the paint. It's like I mean, that's like Mythic Legions. That's 4 Horsemen level of detail. That's beautiful.
And then there's his loadout.
I like how the stands reflect the scale. You know, these regular size come with a quarter of a base, but that humongous crane came with the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he needs it, because he's so big.
Yeah.
And then I wanted also to shout out some third-party things that you could get for the 1/18th Turtles. This is Duarte Studios, has a crazy diorama. You can get it painted or unpainted. It's basically a turtle lair, and a couple shots of that. And again, this is Duarte. On Duarte Studios on Instagram, and then there's Duarte Studios website. Really nice looking set here, and that's how it looks with the turtles. So you can get like a sense of the scale. Those lights, so it's hard to tell with this shot, but that one's kind of like a good shot of like exactly what it is.
Super detailed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrific with the lighting.
Yeah. And it's 2 of those, right? Like it's 2 beams with the lights. And then he's also got, so see that like rack with the skateboards in the back?
Mm-hmm.
It's, you can see it kind of there. I didn't pull up a separate picture of it, but that's comes with this. And then he's also got that separate if you wanted to like have a rack for the skateboards. And then he's got this essentially a vehicle. So like a motorized skateboard kind of thing. Again, painted and unpainted, available. He's got this available for like some of these things are available in this scale and in the 112, because he's got them for the Mezco turtles as well. This is my favorite thing, the turtle cycle. I love this. It's so cool. That's how it looks, kind of. See, unpainted one. Yeah. So a lot of cool stuff going on, and we're going to see these guys appear again as we get into our lists. And Trevor's super addicted to Joy Toy. I've been watching Trevor and Nate as well, collecting Joy Toy and the big mechs and stuff for years now. Yeah, Acid Rain stuff is great. I had some, I ended up selling them, but they were really nice figures. Especially, I love seeing tiny figures have like tons of detail like that. It's so cool. Guaisagwe. Brian does amazing work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Tom has this, I think he's saying, and it is fantastic.
Beautiful.
Very nice. All right. You guys ready for our best figures? So what we're going to do is we'll announce the category, and then we'll run through let me rearrange us here. so that we're in the order. So it's going to go Curtis, Larry, Chris, then me. And then this image will come up again, and we'll take a look at the chat, and then we'll see like what the chat put in for that category. All right?
Cool.
All right. Let's do it. Curtis, you're up first. What is your best, I should say 375.
Okay.
You just shortened it a little
I tell
bit.
you, I've been like so busy that like there's probably typos all over this. There was a typo in the video, like there's just typos all over the place today. Anyway, best 375 1/18th scale.
We love
Curtis.
you anyway, Bill.
Well, I only bought one thing last year that fell within 1/18th. It was the only thing that I was interested in, and it's the Skeletron. Yeah, there's like, and it's a vehicle. I went with the vehicle on here, but it's just so good. I just got it right before Christmas, and a little bit of work to put all the stickers on there, but man, this thing is just fantastic. I never knew about this thing. Like when the Kickstarter and stuff went on for it, I didn't know about it. Didn't find out about it till it started shipping, and I knew I had to have one. So
I didn't find out about it until right now. It looks awesome.
I saw a big post on one of the Instagram pages today. I also saw something. I don't know if it's a exclusive figure for somewhere, but I saw that driver in a green outfit instead of the red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cool thing about this is that it's got the like on the left and the back, is the 1/18th like double seat that goes in there, but you can pop that out, and then on the right you've got one that you can pop in there to make it 1/12th scale. So that's what I did. So I actually turned this from 1/18th to 1/12th. So it's kind of cheating, but
who do you got in there? The pilot?
I don't have anybody in it right now. I've got the Tusk Red Jet next to it.
Okay,
like he's getting ready to get inside, but
yeah. It's so cool. I watched a couple, like, as I was trying to like find out, because when you said Skeletron, I was thinking, because I think there's a character that's a figure that's called Skeletron that's coming out, and then like the brand is Skeletron, and then the ship is Robo-Skull, right?
Yeah.
So like I was like, is he talking about the figure or the ship? And then I realized it's got to be the ship because the figure is not out yet. And then I was looking up the videos and stuff, and I saw that Skeletron character figure. Looks awesome. And yeah, this is a remake of an old Action Force line or something like that. Like there was a Skeletron or a Robo-Skull in the 80s.
I will tell you right now, I mean, I've got the figure still on card, and I'm not going to open it. So if you want it, Bill, I'll send it to you.
No, there's a different one. So you have this figure here, right?
I have that figure
there's a different one that looks more like a skeleton robot like guy that I think it's on pre-order that I'm gonna pick up at some point. Yeah, I think I've seen some people put it in there. So the red jet
it'll fit. Yeah.
All right, and then next up is Larry for your best small figure or 374 or.
Actually, this was like 4.25. It was weird because this was the first year, maybe since 1995, that I didn't buy a 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figure. It really, that's they've given me a case of apathy about Star Wars, and I never thought that could happen. And that's all I'm going to say. So my figure was and you probably have a picture. Yeah, there it is. So it's the.
Do you want to actually? Let's do that. Why don't you show it first? Because.
So this is the New Age.
People can see the size
for the scale here. This is the New Age 27EX. Now with New Age, anytime they do a release, they do like 5 or 6 different recolors. I have decided with the New Age stuff, I'm going to collect the toy colors. So everything I get is EX. So these are the toy colors. So this is basically a masterpiece. What was the version 3 Optimus? Masterpiece 43. This is basically a Masterpiece 43. It's been shrunk down to 4 inches. This thing is absolutely mind blowing. Steph got me this for my birthday. It did come with the trailer, which has the full trailer loadout with the medical bay and roller and the whole deal. He's got a matrix inside. He's got, he comes with the axe. It's just, the new age stuff, if you like legend scale, and Bill and Chris, you know me for years, I've been just adamantly opposed to third party stuff.
Yeah.
I could not be more of a kiss my ass for stealing IP. I'm sorry, kiss my rear end for stealing IP person. But you know what? If Takara and Hasbro are not going to make it, I'll buy it from the people who will. This is an absolutely unreal figure. And just take a look at this guy. And I want everyone to try to figure out the theme. I didn't even realize until I went back and looked at my list. You're going to see a theme run through all of my choices. But yeah, this is an outstanding figure. If you like Transformers, if you're even thinking about dabbling in that scale, any of the David colors, whatever color palette you like the best is a great start.
Now, this is, I got a story to tell, I think. Is this one that Steph got you first?
No, the first one was two Christmases ago. She got me Grimlock.
Yeah.
And then
but like, was that when Steph got you those as a gift? Was that the first time you?
That was the first I'd ever. Yeah, that was the.
Okay, so funny story. I know Mike Uziel. He had to bow out, but he was here earlier. He's the reason why she got you those, because she had asked me, like she does almost every year, for birthday or Christmas tips. And I immediately went to Mike because I was like, I bet he'll like those little ones that Mike has. And I had no clue what they were. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's why. So Mike Uziel is part of that storyline as well.
Yeah, they're great. I've got a handful now. Like every Christmas or birthday, she gets me one. In fact, she got her sister and brother-in-law. They got me the EX Galvatron for my birthday last year. So it's really cool. Like everybody's in on getting me the legend stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's killer.
That's pretty sweet.
All right, Chris.
Well, I only bought two, what do you call it, 3 3/4 Star Wars figures last year. So I went with Cobb Vanth because the other one was Lobot. But yeah, it's just a figure I've wanted for a while. It comes with jetpack, rocket, blasters, swappable helmet. You can even take the harness thing off of him if you want. I mean, you can't really take the gauntlet stuff off, but if you want, this slides off.
The chest plate comes off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So you can do the whole Boba Fett on a speeder bike with that stuff on the back scene. That's pretty cool.
Kind of, yeah. So anyway, it's a pretty sweet figure. I think it's got a good Timothy Oliphant likeness for, what is this? A little over a half-inch tall. I don't know, you probably can't really tell on this, but
yeah.
Good quality Star Wars figure, and I got it on sale for like $12. It was like $25 at first, and that's why I'm like, I'm not buying that. But half price, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So the other thing that's made it difficult to do the vintage collection is they're just so. I mean, I can buy a teeny tiny one of those, or I can buy a big, Voyager class retail Transformer. It's kind of a no brainer.
Yeah, and then it's like these are starting to push closer to some of the premium figure prices, where it's like this for $25 or one of those turtles for $35. It's like there's no competition there. Nope. I did pick up most of the Rebels. I waited too long on Hera and that sold out, but I did get all the other Rebels. And
you didn't get the Ghost, did you?
No.
Okay.
No. And I had Zeb on my top 10 list, but there was something ahead of him, and that is the Cray Glyos figure from Knights of the Sliced Toy Pizza. This was their Kickstarter that they did last year, and or I guess towards the end of 23. And this figure is incredible. It's a whole pirate themed. There's a bunch of different versions of Cray. Most of these are like pretty much the same figure, just with different paint apps and different heads and stuff. But yeah, like the one right up front, the one in the black is essentially my pick. I just wanted to put this photo up just to show people all the different variations of it being Glyos. But yeah, so this figure is amazing. It's a little pricey for Glyos. It's $40, but it's awesome. And it's just like, it's so cool to see. And I know they did it with the Goss armor, but it's really cool to see like a bunch of articulation on a Glaus figure, and like you can pop those arms onto any Glaus figure or pop those legs. It's really fun to have that, and these figures came out great. A lot of cool story stuff, and just a really awesome figure.
Cool.
And then David Williams is in agreement there. And there's actually a Glaos drop right now. I don't have it queued up, but I think at 10 o'clock is the Biomasters drop for their like vampire themed figures that that they had at Legions Con. So if you want to pick those up, that drop is in a half hour. Yeah. All right. So in the chat, let's see if there's anybody. Brian Carr is also picking the New Age. See if anybody else had any 3 3/4. No. Guess not. You guys seeing anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Everyone's leaving the scale.
Hmm.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Biomasters is tomorrow. I was thinking it was. Is it tomorrow? Okay, maybe it's tomorrow.
Well, Jeremy Govier said Joy Toy Horus Heresy Space Wolf.
Okay.
So can't say I know what that is, but
And we got another one here. Got to be Joy Toy Turtles for Hedgehog. And yeah, they were also in my top 10 as well. But they have another spot on this list somewhere for me. Joy Toy
spoiler
Warhammer, Adrax Agatoni. Adrax Agatoni. Court of the Dead, 118th. Oh yeah, some of those. Yeah, the second wave of those came out this year or last year. Cool. And Daniel dropped the scale. All right. Best 6 or 7-inch scale, starting with Curtis.
Well, we have a favorite overall later, and I didn't want to double up, so I went with my second pick, which is probably not going to be a surprise to Bill, but it is Fisher Rice of the Shadow Circle. So
Nice.
Just an amazing figure. So many extra parts. Like as a customizer, this is just awesome. Like it just allows for so many different pop and swap options across other figures. And with the cloth arms and legs, you can even go cross from Cosmic to Mythic. And and then just as a standalone figure itself, the paint apps are just fantastic. Vasopolo killed it especially on the guns and that kind of thing. Like, yeah, just really cool.
That blew me away when I got it out of the box. I was just like, oh my God, like just look at that. Look at all the silvers and just all the details painted. So nice.
Yeah, he was on a Legions chat on a Friday night and was just saying, we've got, these same weapons that you have to use, over and over to try to get the max out of that tooling. So it's like, how can you make it a little bit different each time? And man, he killed it.
Yep. Yeah, this is the full package here. This is one of those, like, if you're dipping your toes in Mythic, in Cosmic, like this is like, you can't really get much better than this figure right here.
Yeah,
it's just an awesome loadout.
Yeah, earlier you were talking about that Silver Knight that's up for sale with the book. Like, if you had gotten one of the Sentries or one of the other Legion builders for Cosmic and then got this, and now you have all these mix and match options that can now turn a Legion builder into something a little bit cooler. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's how I started. That's how I started Mythic Legions. My first two were the Deluxe Knight, the first Deluxe Knight builder set, and a Templar. I think those were in that same wave. Like those two were my first two, and I bought them for that specific reason because I knew that the Deluxe Knight came with so much stuff, and I wanted a second Knight, and that's exactly how I started Legions.
Yeah, great idea.
And Joe's here. It was funner. Cool. Okay. Oops, sorry. I just spoiled it. Go ahead, Larry.
Oh, no big deal. So my favorite 6-inch scale was the Mezco 112 Firefly. This thing just that picture right there and me holding it here doesn't do any justice to all of everything that this thing comes with. The accessories, the hands, the heads, things down to like the clasps on these things on the harnesses, clasp like real clasps. It's got actual the mole system on there for tactical gear. I mean, everything down to the freaking magazine, the rounds that are chambered in the magazine are colored individually. Everything about this figure is awesome. The posability is awesome. The outfit is great. You don't have any strain or stress points anywhere in it. It's the perfect size. The posability, the sculpt. I mean, you can sort of kind of see the face there, but he's got 3 different faces, and you would not expect the level of expression that they can get with this much of the face. The three sculpts are completely different. The weapons are great. It's got more than you'll ever use. It's got more options for display than you'll ever use. It's by far the best of the Mezco G.I. Joe figures, and you know how much I love the class of the Commando Snake Eyes. So for me to say that, that's a big deal. And it might be the best Mezco figure that I have, period. And I've got 3 of the Conans. I've got Dr. Doom. I've got a bunch of Wolverines. I've got every Batman ever made. This might be the best Mezco that I own, in my opinion. I think it's absolutely awesome.
That's high praise right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know how much I love my Batman collection, but this thing is absolutely the tippy top.
And just a reminder, folks in the audience, put your choices for best 6 to 7 inch scale now so that they're sort of queued up and ready when we get to that last slide. And Chris, what is your favorite, or what do you think is the best 6 or 7 inch scale figure?
I went with the Mayfix Daredevil, just recently released probably a month or 2 ago. I guess going on with, I've mentioned it, I think a couple times throughout my years about finding like final figures. Like, I don't think I need to buy another one of this again. Like, I don't think I need to buy another Daredevil after this. It's, moves awesome. Mayfix articulations generally, terrific. A couple good heads, lots of hands and lots of options with the Billy Club. There's like a couple swap out, what do you call it? Thigh holsters or whatever. So it's just, terrific figure. And like I said, I don't foresee buying another Daredevil after this. So kind of
nice. Yeah, I've seen a lot of high praise for that figure.
I was just gonna say, I know what you mean by not having to buy another one. I've kind of got like a small Marvel collection, and I do that. I upgrade. Like I'll, the Legends one will fit in for now until something better comes along, and then you get something like this, and then you're like, okay, I'm done with this figure.
Yes.
So
yeah, I'm not someone who's like I like comics, but I'm not someone who's super into, like, I don't think Daredevil has that many costume changes. But for instance, like with X-Men, I know there's you can have 5 or 6 different of every character. I'm like, I'll pick my classic, except for Wolverine. I have a brown suit and a yellow, but generally I'm like, one and done for them. So yeah.
And I did want to acknowledge this. Prayers for Rob Z and everyone in California affected by the fires. Yes, I hope everybody is staying safe and getting out if you are in that area. And it's just devastating, man. It's just really bad out there. Yeah. And Rob's here. Sounds like Rob's okay. Let us know. How you doing, Rob? Okay, let me. Oh yeah, so I got to do mine before we get into the comments. So I picked the creature. So it's weird. Like, technically on my top 10 list there was something above this, but I did the top 10 list. I picked all of my favorite 10, and then I ranked them with a category ranking. But if I were to just say, what is my number 1, 6, and 7, like 1 12th scale figure that I would just keep. If there was just one figure that I would keep, it would be this one. So that's why this is here. And the other one will make an appearance as well. But let me now get into the comments. So we've got
There are quite a bit.
yeah, Monty Ninja Ninja, favorite 6 scale Mezco Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Rob says Odious is his number one. Odious could very easily have been my number one as well. I love it, and I have all the versions, and I've made a couple extra versions. The Collector, Giant Man. Yep, I've seen a lot of high praise for that one. King Conan. Yep, I love it. Made my top 10. Storm Shadow from Mezco. Cloud's going with Big Boa from the Classified series, and strictly because he is my favorite G.I. Joe figure as a kid, and so I am so happy to see him in his 6-inch.
If I had gotten Storm Shadow, I missed that one completely. I have every intention of picking him up eventually. If I had gotten that, it might have supplanted Firefly, because I've heard and seen nothing but awesome stuff about that.
Yeah. And then Schlock says Mafex Daredevil as well. My favorite was the Memory Toys Captain Carget. I don't know. Is that one of those orcs, or I'm not sure which one that is.
No idea.
Warp Frenzy says best 6-inch is the Mythic Legions Skeleton Builder 2. It was cheap and so versatile. You can use it anywhere in so many lines. Wonderful for swapping and army building. Mezco Doc Nocturnal. D13 Purple Demon. Doc Knock Skeleton Legion Builder 2.
I hear that Doc Knock is good for people that got it.
That's for a lot of people. It's a 2025 figure. I canceled mine. Skeleton, a lot of skeleton too. Let's see. Wyatt. He's saying stay safe. Figure Anubis and Bastet for Albert. Goes to Christmas Past. The new Monkey King, the retailer Monkey King. Another for Anubis and Bastet. Rob marked himself safe on Facebook. Okay, good.
I like Cloud said that I'm salty, as if this is the first time she's seeing me.
Mezco Doom using Curtis's methodology. So that's one that released in 2023, but it was like right at the end of the year, and Hedgehog didn't get it till 2024. So that's his pick, I think. All right, so we got to keep going, or we're gonna one more shout out for Spiro Toys. Okay. Oh, look at Trevor, Skeleton Legion Builder 2, though King Conan is damn good. Okay. All right, and then the next category is best 1/6 or a large premium figure. Curtis?
Well, I did dip my hands into the hot toy realm this year, but that is not my pick. I went with the Mondo Beastman. That thing is just a hulking beast, man, and it was relatively the same price as the other ones that they're, which is why I don't really understand Mondo's pricing. Like, whether it's an Orko or a Teela or a Beastman, like the pricing is all about the same. And this thing is just a huge mamma jamma. Like you could knock somebody out with this guy.
I have actually.
And the details are so great. I love that wired whip. He's just fantastic, man. The open mouth faces on there, man. This thing is he's just a pleasure to look at. Like, you just hold it and you just want to like stare, and you turn it, and as you turn it, you just see more and more details that pop out as you turn the thing. So, yeah, just totally fantastic.
And then, Larry, what's your best 1/6 large premium figure?
This is my friend. And he's just about as big as I am. No, I echo everything that Curtis said. Like, this dude, every time you look at it, you're just blown away by the amount of detail, whether it's right down to the freaking bone marrow of the broken bone here, the flocking, the detail and the wash and the hair throughout the figure, the nails, the wired whip. One of my favorite things is whenever my in-laws and their family, any of them come over, even my wife's 83-year-old mother loves to go in the collection room, and she just looks around and she goes, and now you got to remember, she grew up in Germany, so she's still got a very heavy German accent. She always goes to my collection room. She looks around, she goes, I don't know what any of this is, but I just love it. I love being here. I feel safe and protected here. But yeah, it's fun, and this is a piece that has gotten a lot of whoa. I had that when I was a kid, but it didn't look like that. But yeah, and to Curtis's point, I mean this thing's got to weigh 7 or 8 pounds. Yeah, wouldn't you say so, Curtis? At least.
Yeah, it's
chunky. If not more than that. I mean, this thing weighs more than a 10-pound plate.
It feels like a bowling ball.
It really does. It really does. And if anyone does ever break in here and I can't get to a firearm, I'm just going to bludgeon them to death with this thing, and they'll wish I had the gun. But yeah, and the all of the accessories it comes with, it's got stuff from the 2000X, like with the bones there. If you want to do more of a 2000X look, it's got the knuckle duster here. If you want to do from the true toy look, you've got. Right down to the big turkey leg, like from the Filmation cartoon. So this thing is awesome. The head sculpts are unbelievable. A lot of these come with a vintage head sculpt, like you can see on the far right there. But of course, I love the more modern looks. And like I said, Mondo, I really enjoyed the line. This is another one that my wife got me started in. I think she got me Skeletor for Christmas one year, and then He-Man for my birthday a few weeks later. And it's been downhill ever since. I think she got me Faker for Valentine's Day. It was like boom, 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 3 in a row. And the quality has just gotten better and better. And the only reason that I don't have everything they've ever released is because I just don't have the room. I
honestly think the most impressive thing about this is that you can get it into a super dynamic pose without the stand. Like, it's nice that they throw a stand in with it, but you don't need it on this thing. It is solid.
The newer figures, and you can't see from here, but the newer ones, ever since the Skeletor 2.0, He-Man 2.0, Skeletor 2.0, Trap Jaw, this guy, the new Scareglow, I don't need stands for him. They're balanced better. The joints are better. The plastic is better. Everything about them is better. So to that point, I'm glad they redid He-Man, redid Skeletor, redid Scareglow. There's a rumor that they're going to redo Man-at-Arms. There's a reviewer that I was watching, and he said he couldn't say who told him or where he heard it. But he's made predictions like this in the past, and they've all come true. So I would not be shocked to see that. I'm just hoping, because I had so much money going out here recently for HasLabs and this and that and the other. I didn't get Buzz off. I do want it eventually, and I'm sure they'll do like the green trap jaws back up on Mondo. They've kept the regular, not the timed release He-Man, but just the regular version 2 He-Man, regular version 2 Skeletor. Those were evergreen for quite a while. So I feel pretty confident that they'll do that with Buzz off eventually. I will get him into the collection. But yeah, this is just a freaking banger of a line and a banger of a release.
All right, Chris, you're up next.
My choice is the Batman from the Batman. That's actually what I got, the deluxe version.
Love that.
One hand here. Okay, kind of, yeah.
I thought he was going to say modular.
So this is a modular base. Came apart right there, but I got it. I got the deluxe version just mostly for the base. It comes with like that parachute suit or whatever he wears in the movie, one scene, which I'll probably never use. But yeah, I like the base, and it also deluxe comes with a gun for some reason. Otherwise, you have an empty holster. So
right.
This is Hot Toys. This is not one of the side.
Yeah, this is Hot Toys, not in art. Yeah. Because they released one last year too. Magnetic head, so it's nice and easy to pose, but also remove if you want to swap it.
It's like the DX12 I have. Yeah, it's just awesome looking. I love that figure.
Yeah, it just feels great. I haven't put it in too many dynamic poses, but it's cloth suits, so it's not like the other suits, so it's much easier to do.
Right.
Whatever. Cape's okay. but it poses if you need it to. It's very light, so even though there's some wires in it, but you can get it into a whatever if you need to. I didn't really get that many last year, but I love the Batman, and I think this is a great figure for that movie. I love the little cards with the riddles and
the riddle. Oh, that's really
yeah.
cool.
So it's just
Nice little detail.
like I said, great
That
figure.
that uniform lends itself. It's very toyetic. Like I've got the Mezco and I've got the figure arts of that. Or no, is it Mezco? I've got two of them. I think it's Mezco. And
Mezco did do one, and then
okay.
I think
Yeah,
everyone
it's Mezco and figure arts, and then of course the McFarlane release. But just the higher tier stuff, the job they did on the uniform was amazing. I can't imagine what that thing is like in hand.
Yeah, pretty sweet. It comes with an unmasked head too, which I don't have to show you guys, but has good amount of options, and like you can see some of the even other weapons he has there and gadgets. Actually, they're I forgot. Yeah, most of those you put in here, like I don't know. There's things you could take off, So
Right.
it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
With all that going on for it.
Cool. And then Trevor says, get the draped cape from 1/6 kit. If you're interested in upgrading that, if you want it to sit flat. And then mine, so this is a weird one because you'd think it would be a Star Trek Exo 6 figure, but that was another one of the lines that I dropped this year, believe it or not. I got to the point where I was like, I think I need to stop collecting 1/6, or at least cut it way back to just a couple figures. So I kept a couple favorites, and I pretty much turned around it was probably like middle to 3/4 through the year. I just started selling my my Exo 6 stuff, and I'm down to I have none left. I have data, but that just came in, and I don't even want to take it out because I want to sell it as a new figure. So like I opened it to inspect, but I haven't messed around with it. So yeah, I ended up selling Quark. I got a freaking boatload of money for Quark. He's like the most expensive one. I sold them all. So like, and other than that, I didn't get any more in. And then if I did, I sold them right away. So I don't have any 1/6 figures to talk about. So I put in this spot a large figure, which is Arakagor, which ended up being my number one figure in my categorical ranking system on the Mythic Legions list, or the 4 Horsemen list. This figure's, it's insane. It was one that like I loved the idea of it, and I was pretty excited for it, but it was not even in my top 3, I don't think, for like before this wave hit, like for being excited about it or anything like that. But it's one of those figures you get out, and the paint job, and I know, prior to this I had Scourge, but like just like the paint job on this one, and the gear he's got on, and just the way it's all set up, and the sword, and it just is such an amazing figure. It's this is incredible, this guy.
I don't get very many Mythic Legions. I'm not, I don't buy as many as you guys do, but this is one that I did get. And it was absolutely, it just happened not to fall into my favorite from any particular category, but it's easily, right. If I had to put aside, okay, what are your 15 or 20 favorite things that you purchased this year? That's definitely on the list. I love that thing.
Yeah, it's so good.
This feels a little like cheating here, but I put a vehicle for 1/18th, so I'm going to let it slide.
Yeah, there's a couple of them where I kind of cheated. The thing is, like, I didn't get anything that fits this category. I guess I could have just left it blank,
I will
this
say,
is the biggest figure I got.
I was just doing a video for my channel the other day that I had to go through a bunch of different figures. He was one of the ones that we were looking at and talking at. And you're right. Like even if you have him in your display and stuff, and you just pull him out for a little bit and take a look at him, like he gets separated from the other ones really quick. Like you're in awe of the colors and everything.
And it's one of those figures where like, you got to turn him around, like every because he looks amazing from the back. Like it's just one of those complete figures. It is so good.
Everything about that figure is, and hey, It might not be 1/6 scale, but it's as heavy as my Hot Toys. So
Yeah,
yeah,
big guy.
we'll just go by sheer weight, and it fits large.
Heaviest, best
Yeah.
1/6 large or heavy.
Other than Beastman, that's probably the heaviest figure I picked up last year. It's a chunky monkey.
Top. Yeah. I'm going to rake my figures by weight.
There you go.
Very easy system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally objective.
All right. So let me go through some of these. So Odo for Daniel Douglas. And again, that was another one that it came in and I turned it right back around and sold it. Now I'm not sure if these are carryovers from the 1/12 scale category or not, but the Zezre, those are like the Minotaurs from Zezre. And then Mondo Liono.
Oh yeah.
Mondo, awesome figure.
Yeah, I don't
cool.
have it, but I saw David with it on a Legions chat on a Friday night, and it looked so good. I know he was very impressed with it.
Nice. And then we got another Mondo Beastman. We've got Hero Toys Illidan. Again, another one where I'm not sure if that was the previous category or this one, but we'll throw it up there. Mondo Disco Skeletor, and then 3-0 Skull Knight. And there might be a couple others in here. I don't know if you guys see any. Okay, we got Trevor. Oh, that Aragorn looks amazing. Somebody has it in the DorkLair group. I forget who. And yeah, that in-art Aragorn looks incredible.
I actually do have that, but I didn't open it yet. Because I was like,
Yeah.
I was basically waffling on keeping it, but I'm almost certainly going to keep it.
Yeah. It does look amazing. Okay. And then next category, best figure under $50, Curtis.
I went with the Marvel Legends Angel figure. Is
this the one? Because
yeah.
I don't follow it too close. Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. The wings are great as far as how they articulate. You can get them some really cool poses. Normally, like we were talking before with the Daredevil, like normally I kind of start with a Marvel Legends, kind of work my way up to Mafex in terms of, what's going to be the final version in my collection. But I don't know that I'll ever replace this. This thing is just so good. Yeah, absolutely love it.
Awesome. And Larry?
Yeah, mine is not. I'm probably gonna have some folks disagree with me. My favorite figure under $50. This was I think $26 at retail. It's the Transformers Legacy United G1 Optimus Prime, or as most of us know it, the poor man's missing link. So this, and to give you an idea, so this is where you start to see the pattern in my picks for the year. So the missing link, you can see this is size of the missing link, and this is the exact same size of the G1 release. And this is the G1 Legacy. So it's considerably smaller. A lot of people were like, oh, it should be bigger. It's not worth. Look, if you want the missing link, get the missing link. If you don't want to spend $85 and you want something that does just about all the same stuff pretty well, get this guy. He's got all the same posability. You've got a Matrix. You've got an axe. One of the things I thought was really cool here. So when the original Optimus Prime came out in '84, you either got this gun or you got this gun. And this guy comes with both of them. Yeah, it comes with both. Now, the missing link comes with the one that came more often. So that's the one I have in hand. But this one came with both. That came with that one, and then the running change, I think maybe that came out in '85. It's got a light pipe eye port for the yellow eyes. The posability is great. Yeah, it's not chromed. And there are things that they could have done, but you know what? This is an awesome little desktop figure. It's an awesome little travel figure. If you want to have, like I had a friend on one of the old Transformers boards, and he had a figure he traveled a lot. So he would always use forced perspective and like have a picture of it at the Washington Monument or have a picture of it here or there. This is the perfect little travel companion.
Yep.
Small. It's got a fun transformation.
Pocket
the tolerances. Yeah, it really is. The tolerances are great. The plastic is, it doesn't feel cheap. And again, like I said, we're collectors. Folks are going to, Lord knows I always find something to complain about. So I'm not going to fuss at someone for complaining, but I really think that a lot of people sleep on this. Again, if you want a great G1 Prime that poses and does all the stuff that your 1984 Prime didn't do, and you don't want to spend the money on the missing link, grab that. It's a really fun figure.
This is a good kind of figure to, like, you know, like if you're on the fence about it, put it in your Amazon cart or something like that, and just, like, who knows? Like, a lot of stuff goes on sale. You never know. Like, could. All right.
Yeah.
Chris.
I went even further than $50. This is the best figure under 10. It's the Jack Pacific Were Dragon.
That's
Okay,
cool.
let me put you up here. Hold on.
It's incredibly articulated for a $10 figure. It's got double jointed arms and legs. It has bicep swivel.
Holy moly.
Comes with this blaster effect out of it. I mean, outside of not having a articulated jaw, and swap out hands, it's just an awesome figure. Wings move. They're articulated also. Got a tail.
What's the company on this?
Jack's Pacific.
Okay.
They're Walmart exclusive, so that's the only rub if your Walmart gets picked over a lot, or because I don't think they're online anymore on Walmart.com.
Is this from a video game, or what is this from?
Yeah, it's Altered Beast.
I was just gonna say this looks like Altered Beast.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
they also
crazy.
have come up with the Beast.
Wow.
Nice.
This is also pretty good, like outside of wanting like open hands and stuff. I mean, they both have awesome articulation.
Altered Beast, that was Sega Genesis, right?
Yes,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, I remember them.
And
So,
I have these courtesy of Chris, my Santa.
Yeah.
So and I can also, like, repeat, they are fantastic. Like, I couldn't believe how good they are. They weren't even on my radar because they were so cheap, and I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. But they are very nice figures.
Yeah, I don't know how they're doing it.
That is super impressive for a $10 or sub $10 figure.
Yeah,
because even the paintwork, like, I mean, you probably can't tell. I need better lighting in here, but there's a wash on his legs are painted, they're molded, but also painted. So it's essentially
That's a
fully
really
painted
cool looking figure.
Yeah,
Dig that.
They're nice.
they're about 5. I mean, this guy's probably close to 6, but you can do something with the legs too. But they're a little odd scale, I guess. That's the only I guess rubber.
That's cool.
It's $10. What do you want?
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, I mean, for that price, it is pretty amazing. And mine, probably no surprise here, is the Ninian Infantry for best figure under $50. This was the surprise drop at Legions Con. It the paintwork, and again, kind of looking at this from the front doesn't do it. You don't get everything when you look at this from the front because there's so much paint on the back with the reds and the blues. It's got, the first time we're seeing the snake heads, like this like early tease of something, right? Like kind of like we had with the Valiant Knight last year. Got a really cool mix of parts with those Gorgo 2 pauldrons, and you've got Monkey King loincloth, or the metal like loincloth, and then you have it's a little cloth goods going on here. Thing is loaded up. The accessories are fully painted. Like it's just a nice complete figure, and a great kind of like teaser to the theme of this year's G-Con wave. So yeah, this figure was awesome. And he says there's a nice dynamic shot, Bill. Is he saying I should have put up his
I think that's what he's saying, yes. Even on his dynamic shot with 2 of them, though, he did not turn him around to see the back. So
because I mentioned the back, right? Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I put this together in like way too fast. So let's get into some of the picks. I just want to like highlight a couple more. Hang on a second. All right. So viewers have Crystar. Was Crystar last year or was that?
That was this year.
It might have been this year.
It was this year.
Yeah.
Because it was one of my it was in my list for under $50.
Yeah. SH Figure Arts Tanjiro gets my vote. I'm not sure who that is. CT Brown Wolverine. That's that like $25 knockoff Wolverine or whatever, right?
Yeah, the company that was alive and then shut down, and then maybe they're back. I don't know. So,
Cloud says my pick for under 50 would probably have to be the Red Armory Knight. Turned out great, and I love playing with him. And then SHF Luffy Romance Dawn. Skeleton Legion Builder 2. Trevor, still Skeleton or perhaps Operation Monster Force. And, I'm reading Dracula right now because it's the current book for the DorkLair book club. And, like, I've been tempted to go dip into the Operation Monster Force, but my willpower has held and my toy diet is intact. And then we have Monty, NECA Totally 80s Alf. Awesome figure. So good. That was like one of those on the cusp figures for me on my top 10 list. Cosmic Legions Tusk Pilot. Jada Toys Mega Man. Savage Crucible Veterus Repax. That's the only one I don't own. And it's like, do I try to stay complete on those on those Lemurians, or do I stay true to my toy diet, which I will? Under 50 Spiro Toys Mongrel or Aha Kin, and then Jada Dalsum. Operation Monster Force Season 1 Delta Red Nocturnal Operations Trooper for Blake, who already owns like 30 Monster Force figures. Demistros standard release was last year. And then we got another Ninian. Cool. I already lost track. If you send me one, an Operation Monster Force figure, I mean, I'm not gonna say no. All right, next category. That's actually like a good test right there. It's if you send me one and I fall in love with it and I resist buying more, that'll be like I've passed the test, like Galadriel. All right.
Nice. For this, I've got the Mafex Eradicator from the Reign of Superman that they're doing.
There it is.
That was one of the things that's on my pile of loot I haven't shipped yet.
Yeah, it is so good. I mean, I loved that whole storyline in the comics anyway, but this was definitely my favorite character. They did a run with the Eradicator years before that Reign of Superman, and I just really loved that character. And this is, I mean, just brought to life right straight out of the comics. Like, it's so good. The sculpt is amazing. That soft goods are great. I mean, Mafex really, they do a good job making a cool action figure. So,
did you get Steel or the Cyborg Superman that came out before this?
I got them all.
Yeah, I have those two, and I have this one sitting in my pile of loot, and I have the Rebirth Superman on pre-order.
I even have the Hush Superman. I've replaced the head with one of the Rebirth Superman heads so that it's the mullet version of Superman.
Nice.
Well, because everybody knows mullet Superman is the best Superman.
It is the best Superman. Mafex has just been killing it this year. Their Dark Knight stuff. If it were not for my love of Transformers, a lot of their stuff would have jumped on the list. Between the Dark Knight stuff, the Nightfall stuff, the Death of Superman stuff, they've just been hitting home run after home run this year.
I didn't get their Bane, but I mean, people that got it seem to absolutely be over the moon with it. Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah,
it really is.
And this slide is another good example of my shitty editing right here with the picture all down on the bottom and everything.
Perfect centered.
It works.
Yeah, it's centered at least.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Sorry.
That's
Larry?
okay, but this is the best.
Another Optimus.
This is the best figure that's been released this year. This is the best figure. Probably, I don't know how retail does better than this. Studio Series 86, release number 31, movie Optimus Prime. I look, Bill is not a Transformers guy, and this made his number one figure. That tells you what you need to know. Everything about this is a joy. It looks like it jumped off the screen. The transformation is fun. At no point did I feel like I wanted to run outside and throttle a small woodland creature. So it's got, it won up on Masterpiece 43 on that. It's a fun transformation. It looks great. It feels great. The plastic, it feels high quality. The tolerances are wonderful. Just everything about this is great. I wish that, because I don't care about the trailers. I'm not a trailer guy. I grew up near trailer parks, don't need to collect one. So if they had released this just with the figure, say at a $60 price point or even a liter 50, whatever, I would have bought it in a heartbeat. Now, don't get me wrong. They're going to get a lot of mileage out of this mold. We're going to get Nemesis Prime. We're going to get Shattered Glass Prime. We're going to get probably Toy Colors Prime. We're going to get Dead Prime. So there'll be plenty of opportunities to buy this sans trailer.
Yeah.
But this is another one. It's just, the articulation, the balance, it's nice and balanced. You get into a lot of different poses, and the accessories it comes with. If I was a trailer guy, I'd love this one. You got the medical bay, you have firing effects, you've got roller. You can store everything that comes with this figure, from his firing effects to his axe to his the blast off effects from when he transforms from the truck. All that stuff can be stored away and hidden in the trailer. It's just, there's the only thing, if I had to nitpick, the only thing bad I could say about this figure is I liked the head on there was another Optimus Prime that had a head that I thought was a little more faithful to animation. And I can't remember which one it was. It might have been the Christmas release. I can't remember. There was another Prime whose head I liked a little bit better, but buddy, that's super nitpicking. And I have Studio 86 and Yolo Park. Yolo Park looks great. I think the Studio 86 feels better. I think if you want something that is slavish to the cartoon design, get the Yolo Park. If you don't care if it transforms and you just want something that looks like it jumped off your screen, get the Yolo Park. I've got them. I've got both of them. But I do like the way that the tolerances and the joints on this thing feel just a little bit better. And I didn't even talk anything at all in any of my choices about the MDLX line from 3.0. There's another great non-transforming Optimus Prime if you want to go that direction. But yeah, with what Hasbro and Takara and Yolo Park 3.0 have been doing this year, you can't make a bad decision. So that's what I think.
Beautiful.
Chris?
Already talked about it, but mine's a Rakagor. Basically echoing everything everyone said about just how excellent it is. The paintwork is really the premier thing for me. I love the iridescent blues and everything on the scales, like you were saying. You want to show this guy from the back because it's incredible paintwork on this guy. So
yeah,
I have to really approve of that.
awesome. And Larry, I'm right there with you. My best over 50 is also Optimus Prime. I guess it would sort of probably be like a tie with the figure obscura Fragile creature, but I don't want, I'm trying to not repeat as much as possible, though I think there's something that gets repeated on my list. But this was one where I transformed it back and forth a whole bunch of times. Typically I'll get a figure, I'll transform it, and then I'll transform it back, and then it'll kind of be that. But this one, I just kept playing with it and transforming it and just messing with it, and it's just one of those things it's just such a fun toy, and it just kind of it's the complete package. It's so good.
I really have to consider picking this up because I haven't bought a Transformer in a while, but yeah, keep hearing how awesome it is. So
It would be a good pickup. I was so tickled when I was watching Bill's video of his top tens, and I was shocked. I never thought I'd see the day when a Transformer would make it to the top of your list.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, I will take more than 2% of the credit for that.
It's one of those things where, as I was just doing the categories, like, and I don't know, I might not have put it there if I had just ranked my favorites, but like the categories, it just kept scoring really high on these like separate rankings that it took the top prize in that. And that's kind of what makes that system fun, is it leads to surprises, not just for my audience, but also for me.
Oh, sure.
You know? And then we can get into the audience. So we have a lot of King Conans in here. Guaisagwe with a King Conan, and also a lot of Optimus too. So Daniel Douglas with the 86 Optimus Prime, Rob Zamora King Conan, David Williams Frankenstein's Creature, Saf Mezco King Conan, Storm Collectibles Yujiro, Optimus Prime. Let's see, Poxus Flogius 2-pack. That's a great pick. It's a nice way to get a double in there. As a Hazar, and Wyatt says Frankenstein's Creature as well. Daniel Douglas, it's the best cartoon Optimus ever made. Better than MP44 for me. Fun, smooth, just perfect. And then G Free says I'm changing to SHF Yusuke Urameshi.
Yeah, I would definitely buy that Optimus that you guys are talking about if I hadn't fallen in love with the YOLO Park series, and I can't do 2 Transformers lines.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I can't have 5 Transformers lines like Larry.
Well,
and
the reason is
one.
that's
Optimus Primes.
I collect all the Optimus Primes, but Transformers are they're the centerpiece of my collection, so I let myself get a little nutty there.
Yeah, but I love that YOLO Park series. So good.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Okay, best current value for 2020 from 2024, and let me just kind of reiterate that, like, something might have been a great value, but it might be sold out. Something that came out in early 24 might be sold out and already like higher on the aftermarket, like maybe like a Mezco figure or something, right? So this is really all about like something that you could get now for retail or less that represents a really good value from 2024. Curtis, where are you starting us with?
So for me right now, I'm now 9 days clean into January without buying a new toy. And so what I did was I looked at which one out there strictly based on price is really pulling me and tempting me to buy a toy. And it is the Monster Force Kilowog figure. It's not this one. This
basic one.
This is the one with the has the armor and the gun. And so the basic one is the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's $59.99 on Big Bad Toy Store right now for a fully articulated werewolf. It's basically the same build as this, just without the pants, without the jacket, without the weapons and stuff. It's just the standard.
So the stuff on the right hand side, all that kit on the right hand side, on the figure, and that's what that one is.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't get the Veteran Williams. I haven't gotten any of the other ones that kind of this same kind of build. But for a standard, for $59.99 for just kind of a flat, werewolf figure, it looks really good. And I hear really great things about the articulation and just people love them. And yeah, that price is like, man, it's almost 9 inches, I think. And $59.99 is a great price. So.
Larry?
Well, I think I didn't understand the assignment. When you said best value, I kind of went the way of the lines. If I had to say, okay, well, if I had to give a best value for a single figure, I'm going to go with Magmatron from the Transformers line, the Legacy. I believe this was a commander. I think, was this a commander class? So maybe the $90 price point, but it's beautiful. The articulation's great. You've got 3 different beasts that combine into one here. I really love what Legacy did this year, where now G1 is my favorite, but it wasn't so slavish to G1. You had some G1, you had some Armada, you had some Cybertron, you had some the Japanese stuff, the Master Force. You had, a little bit of everything, So I thought this was a great value. But if the original answer that I gave, just all in all, I really thought the best value of this line, and I think I said the same thing last year, was the Transformers retail offerings, whether we're talking about Legacy or Studio Series. I mean, it sort of kind of counts. I would even say the HasLab stuff that they've done. I just think that everything that they've done, the quality's been high, the faithfulness to the source material has been high, articulation, plastic quality, even things that maybe there was the Cybertron Vector Prime that came out earlier in the year. There were some issues with plastic quality and joint tolerances and things not staying together. And they did a second run of them. I was fortunate to get mine a second run. It's a beautiful figure. It's great. Just they've really upped their game. And I think, and that's probably, I think, part of the reason why we've seen a shift in the Masterpiece line, the Masterpiece 60 that's coming out, the Genrai, which was just the base figure for Power Master Optimus Prime when we were kids. That's the last quote unquote masterpiece. Now it's the MPG line, which started with the Train Bots and the Power Master Optimus Prime or God Genrai, depending on your location when it came out. And some of the other stuff, they just announced a Rat Trap, so they'll be continuing the Beast line there in Masterpiece. But I think that's why they've kind of pulled that down a little bit in price point. The quality of the Legacy or of the retail releases gets closer to Masterpiece. Masterpiece quality and the price have come down a little bit. These are not the Masterpieces. While I still love the line and I still will collect all of them, I don't think it's quite where it was, say 3 or 4 years ago, which I can get into a little bit more when I get into my biggest disappointment of the year. But yeah, I think that single figure, Magmatron, overall line, just the Transformers retail stuff.
Cool. And this was the one slide I actually put a little work into. Like
I see that.
Collaged it out.
I like it.
Because it was like, how do I get that together? Okay.
Nice.
To really drive home that that Larry likes Optimus Prime this year.
Does he?
Well, and then so these were some of my examples as to what the line's doing. Well, you've got your Optimus Prime that they did from the Gamer Edition, and then the Fractured Friendship 2-pack, the Orion packs. It's essentially a retool. Now, somehow Orion is bigger than Optimus, but they took all the issues that this Optimus had and they corrected them with this Orion packs. This is one of the best Optimus Prime figures I have. They redid Optimus from the animated series this year. And this is an unbelievably awesome figure. Just the stuff that they've done with this line, the transformations, the quality, like I said, the breadth of the source material from which they've drawn, they've just done a wonderful, wonderful job this year. They're going to have there's some cool stuff coming in 2025, but for me, it's going to have a hard time topping what happened in 24, but I'm anxious to see what they do.
Mm. Yeah, I still haven't picked up that Legacy one, but it's definitely on my list of ones to grab.
Real quick, as an aside, before we get off, I've still got to open Chris's Christmas present because it came out of our.
Yeah, we'll make sure you do that before
I got to make sure we do that.
Okay, Chris, current best value.
I was going with the Legions Con 2-pack of Gaspar and Gurich. I'm terrible.
Gorich.
I know it's like more money on Big Bad, but considering you had to pay $30 or $40 to go to Legions Con, that's basically your entry ticket. I'm leaning heavily towards that. It comes with dwarf legs and dwarf parts. That's one of my favorite stuff. I love King Bromden's head. I think the recolor on that works great, and the Atlas head, is that what it is? Right, the barbarian head. I feel like that's one people have probably been wanting for 5 years to see again. So even if you don't care about half of this, you could get rid of it and make money on, or make half your product back there. It's just got some great options. Looks great. I know sorry, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, and the cloth goods are super premium. The feel and the textures, like, they're so nice in this set. It feels like they've kind of like, obviously, like, credit to CJ for the design and stuff. It seems like they kind of like went all out with the cloth goods. And I know the cuts are from other figures, but the materials are really good here.
Yeah, totally agree. They all feel great. So fun figures. So
And another one that came very close to topping my list and in general with those categorical scoring systems was the Praetorian from Valaverse. This figure is amazing. And it was one where, like, I wasn't buying Valaverse. Like, I had sold most of the stuff. I was trying to, like, cut. It was like probably about the same time last year. I was just like cutting, and that collection went, and then they showed this, and I was like, all right, well, I gotta check this thing out. I can put it with my Cosmics, and it's just like, it's so good. It's only $30. It's still available. It's on their site right now. You could go and buy this figure right now for $30, and it's loaded with stuff. The articulation is insane. It's got like every articulation point you could pretty much want, and it's improved articulation, improved. It feels to me like improved plastic quality and like all that stuff. This figure, like, they killed it in both versions. They have a clear green one and they have this one. I prefer this one, but like they're both awesome. This is like just an absolute steal right now. This figure. And then we've got the chat. Current value, Jada Dalsum. Albert says, Fancy Realm Lee Genzi Thunder Shaking Child Standard Version for only $36. I actually don't know what that is, but I'll take that. Take your word for it. Chris in the house. I'm going to be visiting Chris very soon. Says everything Super 7. Many are marked down to under 30 on Amazon or BBTS. There you go. So like Super 7 stuff being a very good value right now. Any of those SHF figures? Cloud saying Kilowog. Alloy by Spin Master. Kilowog. And Jada Toys and Skeleton Legion Builder 2. And Trevor might also go with the Gorch and Gaspar 2-pack. This is a good point. The slates from Savage Crucible were like $20, and the thing is, I don't know if they're still around. I think they're all sold out. So it's tricky to be like current value on some of these. Let's see. Cloud got the exclusive black leather Pandora, and even she feels a bit like a step up in the line. Nice. I mean, it's a young line, and it's somebody who's dedicated and is an industry like insider and knows his stuff, and it's obviously going to get better every year. Okay, and then we're into the biggest disappointment of 2024, starting with Curtis.
All right. So obviously I'm a big Mythic Legions collector. When I got into the line, there were no readily available named green orcs. And so I had been waiting for one. And from the Poxus wave, the Tharnog hit everything that I wanted. Not only was it a named green orc, but he was a good orc, and he was bigger because they're using that new brute scale. And I was so excited for it. I ordered several of them. And when it got in, it was just very wonky. Loose arms, some weirdness with just kind of how the fur fits on there and stuff. Some problems with just different things with the joints just not working well. And I think this is something that as they go along and they do more brute scale, I think that they're going to dial this in for sure. some, even I think the Jin and Canox Vol, which is also a brute scale, I just think there's just a little bit of kind of issue with how those brute scale parts work right now, and that was disappointing for me.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because both of those were on my lists this year and last year, those other ones, and they just weren't they ended up being pretty low in my ranking system because of the wonkiness and the loose joints. But when they get these brute scales dialed in, like you said, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I still love the look of it, and then the Jin especially came out fantastic. Like it's like figure obscura level looking detail, but just some weirdness in terms of how these things move and articulate. So
yep. All right, next up is Larry with the biggest disappointment.
My biggest disappointment was this god awful amalgamation of freaking Japanese malcontents known as.
I got Curtis up there. Hang on.
Just get me laughing about Larry.
Known as MPG 1 through 6, which combines to be trained by Raiden. When this thing was first announced, I was super excited. I got the first release, and I was like, it's good. The train mode for all of them is unbelievable. Apparently, that scale of train is super huge with adult collectors in Japan. Didn't realize this. Yeah, it's really so. The priority of this line was my other biggest disappointment just fell over. The biggest priority of this line was faithfulness to the realism in those alt modes. Right. So that one right there, that was the first one, and some of them were better than others. But where they really, really fail, and I mean they fail spectacularly, they fail like my Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs every year since 1996, is when you try to combine them. It is just the worst time trying to put them together, trying to keep them together. There are parts and panels that are going everywhere. I actually ordered I don't know if is it considered fourth party if someone creates their own thing? A fourth party kit to hold it together. Now, it keeps you from being able to use the sixth train, because that's what makes up the lower back and the pelvis. And it's got a complete different piece for that, because the interlock system on those is just abysmal. Hang on a second. I just dropped something. It's just abysmal. They don't hang together. I'm going to try to put them together with that fourth party kit and see what happens. I just have to find, an hour at some point in a day that I don't mind absolutely wasting and not getting back. And I cheated on this one. Tied for that is this thing that Classified has tried to pass off to us as Road Pig. Road Pig was my favorite Dreadnought as an adult. This ain't Road Pig. This is Road Pig after he quit playing sports and kept eating 7,000 calories a day. This ain't Road Pig. Road Pig was freaking Brock Lesnar with a white flat top and an attitude. I don't know what in God's name this thing is, but it's not Road Pig. My plan for this is hopefully they do a retro release. They seem to be doing retro releases of a lot of these things. I would love to see them do a retro release with a head sculpt that does not look like Kevin Arnold's father from the Wonder Years.
Yeah, it totally does.
It's horrible. It's the most. It is, other than the Falcon head sculpt, it's the worst head sculpt of the G.I. Joe line. And I bought this freaking set just so I would have a decent Falcon head sculpt. Anyway, I'm hoping they do a retro release with a head sculpt that doesn't suck. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to butcher a gung-ho body so that I don't have this thing use the lower body. I don't know what I'm going to do about that mid piece, because the dude's got a 78-inch waist. Again, not Road Pig. And it really irritates me, because he was an awesome character on the file card. He was a good character in the comic book, and even the way he slavishly followed Zorana around in season 3 when Deke was doing the cartoon was at least entertaining. But I was disappointed. I was more disappointed in this figure than I was with the Acolyte. That should tell you something.
I can't even look at this figure anymore because that's all I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, Larry, put it up. Put it.
Oh, I've got
Put it
his
up on
I've got his
screen here.
gas mask
Get
on
it
because
nice
I
and
don't
close.
even want to look
Oh,
at that
that's
thing.
okay. All right, never
I
mind.
mean, and tell me, what dude has a? I'm sorry, dude. He's got a reverse tramp stamp. I don't know any guy. I don't know any guy that is not wearing red fruit punch on his lips in prison that has a tattoo right there. You can figure that one out. Yeah.
Do you guys
Big
remember
disappointment.
Turlington's SNL skit?
I probably would do it if I saw
It
it.
was Turlington's lower back tattoo removal.
Oh yeah.
It was like
Well,
his acid, and it was like it was like so painful.
I just read on one of
But worth
the GI Joe Reddit pages, they said acetone will take that off. So I'm gonna give that a try.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, hugely disappointing. But at least you got some entertainment out of it. So hey,
That was definitely entertainment.
Yeah.
value.
Yeah. Nice.
Chris.
Yeah, for me, the biggest disappointment was Storm. It lost the Mortal Kombat license. Nice.
I did edit another one. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think you put some effort into that one, Bill.
Yeah. No, I love Mortal Kombat. That's always one of my favorite, video games of all time. Series anyway, the whole thing. So, and they're kind of all over the place. I mean, they did a lot. There was more towards like Mortal Kombat 3, and then later on some more of the newer Mortal Kombat designs. But I was just still happy people were making these figures, and that they were still one line, and then they're pretty much done. It seems completely dead and very disappointing. They didn't complete the roster of any single game, or even the they never made a Sonya Blade, so it's not like they even did everyone from the first Mortal Kombat. There's only 7 characters. So yeah, huge bummer. Just one of those like, it's not like you're so close because there's still a million characters, but it still felt so close. And then yeah.
Do you know who's getting the license?
I don't know if anyone. I mean, I know McFarlane's doing like a statue. I don't know if anyone's going to do the license. Like, part of me, I was curious if it was a Warner Brothers thing. Forever, they like the latter few releases, they shied away from doing some like blood effects. I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're getting on them for the violence of it, because Warner Brothers forever they wouldn't let characters have guns and things like that. So yeah. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people are talking Jada Toys because they're doing really good with their Street Fighter line, but I don't know. I wouldn't pick it up anyway to complete. I would have to really trash all this and start anew, because those are 6
Right.
inches. And Storm is famously a very large 1/12 scale line. So
According to
I didn't know that.
Desicker, Jada posted that they had it and then deleted the post.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, they're cheap
like you
enough where
said-
I'd pick those up. Those are like $25 figures, so I'd be happy to keep going with that, or just start that over again. But we'll see.
Right. I have a very similar kind of thing, and it's funny because I just want to pull up this comment. Elkhorn from NECA was one of the biggest disappointments. I thought that figure was amazing. I love it. And the biggest disappointment for me is the fact that we haven't, like, they put out Elkhorn, which was teased like a year and a half ago, and they have stopped. There's nothing on the radar for the NECA D&D figures. It seems like it's dead. It's like, I was at this point last year kind of like, I wonder if they're going to do any more. And then it went a full year and still nothing. So for now, I'm assuming it's done. I don't know why. Maybe Hasbro's shifting their plan or something, or what. I don't know, but it's a bummer because these are awesome figures, and I wish it would keep going. So that's my biggest disappointment, is the fact that, and that photo is from Foosh, by the way. It was a nice, like, 4 of them together. But the fact that it seems like this is dead is a huge bummer to me, because it had so much promise and the figures are so cool.
Yeah, that stinks.
I feel like NECA has been pretty quiet in general lately, unless I've been missing stuff. So I'm curious if there's, I don't know, anything going on with.
Aren't they
them
the
as a
ones
company.
doing the Halloween costume?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
They
But
just
there's a lot
announced
of
a
those.
new. They announced a new
God.
round of those, like Batman,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, Superman, and I can't remember who
Yeah.
the other one was. Yeah, they announced like
Ton of those.
4 DC guys.
Those are like Funko Pops now. They're just like a platform that's like a
Right.
universal
Mhm.
platform that you can just slap any brand onto it.
Yeah, but
Drop
it's
it
gonna
in.
it's gonna be their Creature of the Black Lagoon is gonna be my new Rhaegar, because I don't think they're not gonna remake it, or maybe they will. I don't know, but it's super expensive on the secondary market right now.
Mm.
I want that Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I would just like to clarify on mine, because I saw some people kind of shocked. I'm not saying that Tharnog is a bad figure. It's not. It's not like the worst figure of the year. I think my expectations were just so high that when it came out, it just didn't meet that expectation. So
that makes sense.
From expectation to reality was just the biggest difference than any other figure.
Yeah. Let's see here. David Williams, hands down, that retail quote unquote deluxe Lion-O from Super 7 was absolute trash.
Oh, it was horrible.
Nothing but horrible things about that thing. Star Arc, Cthulhu was a disappointment, smaller than expected, fragile and loose. Carl spaces with Curtis. Trevor says Doc Knock because I still don't have it. Somebody's got to do some Doc Knock jokes, like knock knock jokes, but Doc Knock jokes. Bro Toys female samurai. Can this just be an entire trail line? Because Super 7 Ultimates remain the most disappointing toys I've purchased in years. Overpriced floppy messes. My biggest disappointment is super random. Purchased a new Mafex Newt from Fantastic Beasts from Japan. Right wrist peg broke the moment I pulled on the hand. Avoid these older Mafex figures. Yeah, those older ones are rough.
Yeah, I've heard that about like the early, like the C-3PO and the R2-D2 and the early Stormtroopers. They're just don't mess with them.
Yeah.
Doc Knock, who's there? Not him. See, I knew it. I knew it would be good.
That's good.
Oh, Trevor was going to do that one too. Knock, knock, who's there? Not Doc Knock.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay. Biggest surprise of 2024, Curtis. We're getting close to the end here.
I was thinking about going with the surprise Skeleton Legion Builder 2 drop, but I had to go with Super 7 Steel Heart Vac Metal. This thing,
wow, that looks great.
I mean, the pictures don't do it justice. When you see it in pictures, you see it like on one of the online retailers or something. You get this thing in hand, and the reflective nature of this and the purple tint, it is so freaking good. I mean, I know that they put out their kind of warnings that if you play around with this a lot, you do a lot of articulation, eventually it's going to start chipping, you're going to have problems, and I'm okay with leaving it in a certain pose. But this thing just looks gorgeous, and I was super surprised. Much like the comment we had earlier, I've been very disappointed in a lot of stuff that Super 7 has done, but this thing is fantastic. So
awesome. Larry?
My biggest surprise was the Missing Link Optimus Prime, and just the Missing Link in general. So there were 2 Missing Link versions of this. There was just a single release, which had blue eyes, and then there was the release with the trailer that had what you're seeing there with the yellow on the where the license tag would be, and comes with the trailer and everything like that. And then they also did they did another one, the yellow one. Who was the bad guy in Transformers 1? Which Prime was that? That was anyway, he was named that. And then in addition to that, they did Cliffjumper and Bumblebee, which I'm very disappointed because everyone seems to have them. I'm still waiting on Big Bad to get theirs in. And then they announced for next year Sunstreaker and Corden. So this line is going forward. And here's the surprise. The surprise is not that they found a way to take an existing mold, trick it up, and get us to buy it because God knows we'll buy anything that has a Autobot or Decepticon symbol on it. The surprise was when the Masters of the Universe Origins line came out, I said, why in the world would somebody pay money for these inferior sculpts when you've got the Masterverse line, you've got classics, you've got even 2000X if you want to go back 20 years. Why would you buy this old stuff just because it has better articulation? This is why. I get it. I totally understand it now. So all those folks that I gave a hard time about Origins, I owe you an apology because I get it. Because now I've got this thing that I loved from my childhood that can do all the things that I had to imagine it doing. And then, like I said, you've got the Cliff Jumper and the Bumblebee coming. And you can, like, if you close your eyes, you can see what they could do with the whole line. I mean, if they want to do one of these a quarter from now until I'm pushing, until they shovel dirt on me, I'm fine with it because this line is so much fun. It's just, I can't describe it because if you grew up when I did, in 1984, there were two things that happened in 84 that I've never let go of: Transformers and Hulkamania. And my 30 Hulk Hogan figures back here and my bazillion Optimus Primes. This was the year for both of them. I got more Optimus Primes and Hulk Hogan's this year than I've ever gotten. But to be able to get something that is this perfect representation of this thing that I had when I was 8 years old, and to have it do all of these things that I wanted it to do and never thought it would do. And even though we had the technology, I never thought they would go back and do, is just, it brings me so much joy. Something like that, just, it makes me happy. I have fun with it. And so the missing link Optimus Prime in particular, but the announcement of the line in general was my biggest surprise of the year.
It is a really neat concept, like bringing that die cast back and just kind of having that
Love it.
super nice, high quality version of it, like in this modern engineering, but like with that original shape. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And Optimus Prime's finally not a parts former. His wrists and his hands can stay attached while you transform them. It's wonderful.
I've really wanted to pick that up. I have not yet. On the list of my backlog someday.
Yeah.
So wait, real quick, how does that work with the hands and the wrist? Like, does it go inside the arm?
Yeah, it folds in, and so when you transform it, the wrists hide inside the torso.
Gotcha.
It's very similar to the original transformation, just from a view from 50,000 feet. You wouldn't be able to tell a lot of differences, but there are some differences, and it's just when you throw in the additional articulation in there. I mean, he can sit down. Give me a break. Come on. I mean, he can do his jumping and shooting down from the. It's wonderful. It's so much fun.
It's cool. It's a cool figure. All right, Chris.
Yeah, just going back to those Jack Pacifics, and it's more or less, this is partly because they're cheap, but they're also very good figures and fun figures. But also, I'm a Sega fanboy. Like, I went from Genesis. I was one of the few people. I got a Sega Saturn, went to Sega Dreamcast, and then I didn't buy a console for like 6 years after that. I have
fond memories of Saturn because in college, my buddy had a Saturn, and it was like there weren't many people who had it, and it had Virtua Fighter on there.
Yeah.
And that
remember
game was
that.
sick at the time. Like I remember that just being, we just played the hell out of that game.
Yeah, I love Virtua Fighter. It's good. I actually just started. I got a new laptop, which I'm on, and I was like, I downloaded a whole bunch of games in like Saturn emulator, so I was playing that. But yeah, Streets of Rage, Axel. They have Rue, the kangaroo figure, but I haven't found that guy yet. So
yeah.
And then what was it? A monkey ball figure also so far. So I'm very supportive of all this Sega love and cool fun action figures. And then Axel's the same as the other guys. He's got butterfly shoulders. Bicep swivel, double jointed everything. Just similar to the other guys where you wish you could get some extra hands or something, but like that's if they charge $15, I'd gladly pay that for the upgrade. But can't complain with these guys.
Yeah. I was only a I remember I was in the freshman in the dorms when I was a freshman. So I was only a year out of high school. So we must be very close in age then. All right. And for me, my biggest surprise was the turtles. And I took this picture. I squeezed this in.
Wow.
By the end of the slideshow, I had a
Wow.
little extra time. So I made this shot here. Really quick one. But these figures are awesome. And they weren't even, I think it was like the second half of the year that they were announced, or maybe it was like June or something that they were announced. And then they were in our hands in like September. And we're already got 3 waves in hand. And so like this line really surprised me. And in a time when I'm trying to like slim down and like save space, like it's really nice to be able to like shift something over to a smaller scale. Because I'm more and more just like more likely to buy something if it's this smaller scale now because of the less amount of space that it takes up. And these are my first Joy Toy figures. So I know like a lot of people are like, yeah, now you know. But they're so nice. These figures, you can see I had one issue with my Raphael. He's missing his pouch, or
Oh, I see. Yeah.
he's missing a little sheath for his sai, but they actually sent me LT Kid.
Nice.
They sent me another one. I just haven't glued it on yet because I haven't had the time. But yeah, so that's my biggest surprise. And we're getting a little long on time, so let's kind of crank through some of these. Where are we here? Biggest surprise for David Williams was the Marvel Legends Secret Wars Wolverine. KB Toys, the Four Horsemen Mystery Box. And then we have the biggest surprise was probably the Marvel Legends finally releasing a Destiny figure. All right. I got to uncheck some of these. Okay, so next up, we've got favorite figure of 2024.
Okay. So I was able to avoid the Joy Toy turtles that Bill was just talking about, and the Medi turtles and the NECA turtles and the Super 7 turtles, because Mezco gave me the best turtles ever this year. And just fantastic. I mean, I got the Donatello first, just got the solo Donatello, and then I knew I had to have the rest. And luckily, Bill helped me acquire the rest of the set.
Yep.
So much character, so many accessories. The articulation is amazing. The photography that we've seen this year from the amazing, photographers in the community has been just outstanding. And these things are just there's so much personality to them. Like they're fantastic. So
Those are great.
Yeah, I can't imagine a better set of turtles. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good with.
Nice.
I have my
Turtles.
turtles that I don't need to upgrade ever again.
Yeah.
So
Okay, we know what mine is, so I'll make it quick. Studio Series 86 Optimus. No, love it, live it, buy it. I probably never need to buy another retail release Optimus Prime. I will probably before the week is out. It won't be because I need
But I
to.
will.
It won't be because I need to. So go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I went with the Mayfix Daredevil. I really had trouble picking my favorite or whatever, but I just kind of what I was saying. I'm not going to have to buy another one of these. So
Nice. And this was my one repeat on the list, and that is the Figura Obscura Frankenstein's creature. Like this is such a complete set. It's so like inspired by the book. It's like it just feels like somebody who just absolutely loves that book, and it's got so many neat things that you've just never seen in toys before, between the operating table and the bell jars and the little electrical equipment and stuff. He comes with books, multiple different looks. Like you can pretty much get a sort of like like a classic, like 20th century Hollywood sort of Frankenstein's monster look, or you can get like that classic, or the, like the sort of inspired by the book look as well. It's incredible. Like everything they did for this figure, I'm just kind of like still amazed by it. And I'm still amazed that I only bought the one. Like they sent me the one and then I bought one to keep in box, and I still have resisted somehow buying more. But at some point I'm probably going to pick up some loose stuff from this because I want some extras of things. But yeah, this figure is amazing.
Totally great. I mean, so many unique parts that I'm sure we're going to see in different photography and whatnot, and just the way that they did that figure, where it's 1.0, but it's this very elongated 1.0 that is. They're starting to mess with proportions a little bit. Like, for the longest time, you basically just had 1.0, 2.0 ogre and troll. And now you've got these different various sizes with this and the gray aliens and things like that. So loving it.
Yep. And then into the chat, Jay Rice, best figure, Marvel Legends Wong or Monster Force Deltas. Those are the soldiers, right? The good guy soldiers, I think. And then Albert, my favorite, is a toss-up between Mythic Legions Arakagor and Kalazir. And I got to say, Kalazir was also very high for me, but again, it was held back a little bit by the finickiness of the figure. And Rob says the crazy figure blank female buck that he used for his Blue Eye Samurai custom, that is an amazing piece. And Cloud says Street Fighter 2 Cammy. Monty is with you, Curtis. Schlock is with me. Let's see here.
Larry's already bought 2 more Optimuses.
Yeah. I the only thing I buy doubles of is the Figura Obscura. That's the only thing I have. I have a complete inbox set and a complete loose set of that. That's the only thing. Everything else I throw all the packaging away, and I typically just buy one of stuff, unless it's like a Legion builder, or if it's like a Legions figure that I know that I'm gonna like want extras for popping and swapping, which is quite often, but like not as a rule. Like I just, the only one where it's like a kind of a collecting rule for me is Figura Obscura.
Well, even on the Figure Obscura, you're only really buying one, right? Because you get the
right,
other
because
one
they're
for
sending
review.
me the one, and then sometimes I buy extras of those. Like I bought a few of the first Red Death. I knew I had to have some extras of that body. And like there's a few where I buy a couple extras, but like it's a little easier when they send me one, and then I could just have to buy the one. I'll buy the all in usually to get the mugs.
Yeah.
You do something that I need to do. I need a support group for throwing away packaging, because all of my high-end stuff, masterpieces, figure arts, Mafex, I have all of the boxes.
Yeah.
I just spent hours last weekend putting flooring up in my attic, so I'll have a place to store those boxes so I can get them out of the garage so we can get her car into the garage. Now that's an issue. I need to find some way to let go of those things, because in my brain, I'm convinced that if I ever need to resell them, they're going to be worth more with the package, when I know it's probably not true.
The Mafex boxes they're unreasonably large for those figures. They don't need to be that big. You know what I mean?
Look at the masterpiece boxes.
Yeah. I'm glad Mezco has started to like kind of go smaller size.
Oh, the old Mezco stuff was this big.
Right.
It was ridiculous. Yeah. The last few haven't been that bad, but yeah, they used to be awful.
Yep. Okay. Let's get into our final category, which is we got to remember, Larry has a gift to open, right?
Yeah.
We'll not forget that. All right. Looking forward to in 2025, Curtis.
For me, it's the Templars, Elijah and Enoch. One from Necronominus, one from All-Star 6. These things, when they were first solicited, $37 for fully articulated figures with soft goods and extra hands and faces and accessory, like just so good. The value on these is tremendous, and I'm a huge Templar fan. So yeah, these things are amazing. I can't wait to get them in hand.
Yeah, it's understandable why when you're high on this, you're you're not quite as like excited about the builder, because
Well,
it's like,
yeah, I mean, I've got between the two of these guys, I think I got like 25 coming.
yeah.
So
Oh wow.
so that makes it where when they put up kind of the basic generic knight, I'm like, I don't know
Do I
that I
need
need anymore.
that
Yeah.
might be overkill.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can buy a shield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Larry?
For me, it is the continuation of seeing what Hasbro does with the retail Transformers line and with the classified. I'm really excited about the Transformers line. I love how they did Minosaur. I'm looking forward to Superion. The new Studio Series 86 for Devastator looks great. The Age of the Primes looks great. I'm really, really enthusiastic for what's coming out. I think it's going to be a great year. To a lesser extent, the MPG line, because there are some MPs that they're doing in Shattered Glass, the Optimus, the Jetfire, but they just announced Rat Trap MPG 15. So I know we're going to see some more Beast Wars in the Masterpiece scale. So that makes me really, really happy. So yeah, more of the same. And like Curtis said, another 3 Optimus Primes before 12:30 tomorrow afternoon.
I had a couple things. Mafex figures will hopefully be coming out of Rogue and Jubilee. Just kind of keep rounding out that X-Men line. The NECA American Werewolf in London. Like I can't believe they got the actors licenses and they're doing that figure set. I want to get 2 because you can do Jack. He has multiple face degradation of his as he keeps decomposing. And for the dragon, I'm really excited just to be in the talk for it during the pre-order period. I feel like there's going to be a lot of like just excitement about it and what's going on with it and what's whether it's unlocking add-ons, hopefully with all the pre-orders it gets and stuff. So just think it'll be a fun time in the Cabal and the community.
And that's pretty much mine as well. I'm looking forward to the campaign and just how obviously the figure's not going to come out this year, but it's going to be just such a fun time. It's going to be probably a decent stretch. Like it's going to be, I would say the campaign's probably going to run 2 months, at least a month, if not 2. And so it's going to be this nice long stretch where it's going to be kind of like all about the dragon. And as we've seen, like it can get a little overwhelming sometimes with all these things hitting from 4 Horsemen, but when all of their efforts and everything is going to be sort of like poured into this one thing for a little while, it's going to be a lot of fun. Those guys are going to, I'm sure, be doing a lot of interviews on podcasts, just like the way, a lot of Kickstarter people do it and stuff. So yeah. And just seeing what the unlocks are going to be and like what ultimately we're buying. I mean, are they going to do a second colorway? Like is there gonna be some crazy like goal that'll be like, okay, you could get it in this second colorway if you want it, which is another reason why I'm like, I don't think that's gonna happen, but the possibility that it could is another reason why I'm like, I gotta save up for 2. Like I kind of have to like be ready for that.
Oh, but where are you gonna put it?
I know. I have this like whole pipe dream of like when this thing funds, starting to work on my review space and crafting a new backdrop that's got a diamond pattern but like a much larger one, and just like completely revamping my review space so that it's like big enough for the dragon, and then it's like big enough for like, it just like opens up a lot of possibilities for me. And one of the things is like right now I have you can't really see it very well, but I have a weird finger injury right now called mallet finger, which is like the very first knuckle, the tendon is broken, and I just have a fingertip that is just like loose. Like I can't straighten it.
How did you do that?
I barely stubbed it on a couch. Like it was like
Oh.
the lightest little stubbing. I was tucking some pillows in, and it just like I just heard a pop, like a knuckle crack. Didn't hurt at all. I looked at it, and it was just limp. It's called mallet
Mallet.
finger.
Yeah.
Mallet finger,
How long does
and
it
it's
take
a
to
thing.
heal?
A long ass time. So I'm not in pain. I can use this hand, but when I really try to grip something like popping and swapping or articulating figures, that finger tries to close. Like I can close that finger and make a fist, but I can't open it up. Now the problem is, while it's healing, it has to stay perfectly straight. In fact, it should be bent back, like hyperextended ever so slightly. And anytime during the healing process that I bend it, it's going to sort of reset the process and like break that again. So I have to keep it straight. Like, and so if I grip, it'll push through this splint. If it'll kind of like flex that splint a little bit if I grip hard enough. So I can't really do much with it, even though it's painless and I have strength and all that stuff. I can't. I have to like restrain my hands from gripping for 8 weeks. and then it's going to be part-time splint after that, as it's like physical therapy. And it's painless. And the only thing is, if I don't do it, I'm going to have a deformed hand. I'm going to have a finger that's going to heal bent, and I'll never be able to straighten it out again. So it's kind of wild. It's freaking crazy. And it was just this random thing. It happened like the day after Christmas.
Jeez.
And then I had this long stretch, because it was like I went to the doctor that day, and then I had to wait to even make an appointment till the following Monday. And then the doctor was on vacation the entire week. That's the orthopedic surgeon. And so it was like almost 2 weeks before I had it even looked at. It was just this past Monday. And then finally, thankfully, I had kept it in a splint, and like I had kept it the whole time. So the healing has been going on, but freaking sucks. It's such a weird thing. It's like, it doesn't disrupt my work. It doesn't disrupt too much household stuff. I can't really wash dishes because I have to I can, but I just have to like put a glove on and like, because I don't want to like constantly be changing this thing. Because it's like, if I change it, it's like, you got to like, it's a weird thing, because there's a fine line between it being tight enough to not bend and then it being so tight it cuts off the circulation. And so it's like this, it takes forever to like wrap it back up, because I got to get it right at that perfect point. Anyway, enough with the hand. Let me just see if there's any more looking forward to's. Albert is looking forward to Necronominus and Conibus to finally complete the Dark 4. Finally Necro in hand, which we're like a month away. We're about a month away, and that's going to start hitting. And looking forward to either Animal Warriors, Fox Boone. Also, I know this was released just recently, so it might be a 24 release. But that new Muff Toys Clark Kent. Yeah, that figure looks awesome.
Oh, Robo had for his figure I can't remember the name of the company that did it. That Kingdom Come Superman. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I can't remember who made that, but I'm getting that. That is unbelievable. So
I thought about either getting that or the Shazam. They both look great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't pulled the trigger yet.
All right, Larry.
All right. Get this thing opened up so you folks can go to bed. All right. I told Chris when this came, I said, now, unless there's anything in here that's going to suffocate, I said, I'll wait until we do our next show. So if there's anything organic in here, I'm going to be really upset. All right. As always, he does an awesome job of wrapping. It makes me feel completely inept. So that's something you and my wife have in common. All right. I'm going to do the big one first.
My nephew, who's like 26 or 27, he wrapped a bunch of presents for us for Christmas, and the wrapping was like amazing. I was so impressed. It's just like this random nephew who's like amazing at wrapping gifts.
What is this? It's on the right. What is this? What is it?
It's Super 7 from their
that is
San
so
Diego Comic-Con.
cool. Oh, dude, thank you.
What is it? Show us. Oh,
So here's something you don't know. When I was going through my stuff that I'm selling on eBay, I found some of my commemorative edition Transformers where they just re-released the G1 stuff back in like 02, 03, 04, 05.
Mhm.
And I've got some vintage package stuff that wasn't opened. It was re-releases. So I've got a collection going of just a vintage packaging. It might not necessarily be G1 stuff. This is going to fit perfect. That is awesome. I love that.
Awesome.
And I never, the Unicron that you gave me last year, never opened it because it looks so good in the package.
Yeah,
It's on that shelf.
same.
nice.
I love that.
Beautiful.
All right, now got something smaller here. All right, this requires fine motor skills, of which I have none. My goodness, boy, you wrapped this thing tight, didn't you? Okay, let's get this mess on the floor. So this is, there's blue tape wrapped around it, so I can't read the whole thing. Hang on a second. Let me find the edge. He wrapped it in childproof wrapping. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons. This is a trading card set.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so cool.
Super 7, yeah.
I loved that cartoon. I told you guys that they put up look, you know what I was looking for, right?
Yeah.
There he is.
There he is.
One in there.
I love it. Oh, that is so awesome. I loved this show so much when I was a kid. Thanks, Chris. Dude, you get the coolest, just like stuff I would never think about, but just makes the best stuff. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Glad you
guys
like
are
it.
awesome. We'll need a separate shelf just for my DorkLair gifts, because you guys always get the best stuff. I love it. Got a lot of mileage out of my custom Rhaegar story there, Bill.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I've been sharing that one around a lot. So thanks,
Awesome.
guys. I appreciate that.
So there was one question here. Have they said anything about the All-Star Wave shipping? It's like going to be coming pretty much right after Necronominus. So Necronominus is on the water now. That wave is being produced now, and it's like next in line to ship. So I would say springtime maybe is probably a good guess for that.
Yeah.
All right. As far as next episode, so next time, so 2 weeks from today, we're gonna have the guys from Cursed Dead on here, and they're great. I watched them on Unparalleled Universe. So if you want to check that one out, like they're talking all about that line, and just especially like I think one thing that people don't realize is like the articulation in this line is going to be incredible. They're like huge articulation junkies, and they're like industry insiders and stuff. So yeah, so those guys will be on next time. I don't know if we're going to be on next week. We're trying to work on our next Glios episode. I'm not sure when that's going to be. We have a special guest lined up that we're trying to like schedule with. So we'll see if and when that happens.
Those have been great.
Thank you. Yeah, I've really enjoyed those. And I won't be doing too many figure reviews. I'm kind of worried that I'm not going to be able to review Poxus or Necronominus. I think what I might end up doing is doing some like soft reviews where like I don't do any popping and swapping, and they're just like kind of quicker, like visual type ones. Because like this is going to take me through the end of February, and then I have to rehab. So, I mean, Poxus will probably be there by then. So, I mean, not Poxus, Necronominus. So we'll see if there's going to be reviews, but because of that, I'm planning to do more of the type of video I did last week. That one was like the get ready for 2025, right? Like more just like content videos where I do slideshows and I talk and I, just kind of like pre-plan out something and do stuff like that. So hopefully I'll be able to find time to do more of that, since I'm not going to be able to do as many reviews for the next.
I'll tell you something else,
couple
Bill.
months.
Selfishly, I really enjoyed your top 10, your countdown lists. You should think about doing that with some other things.
Yeah.
Because you do though that was really, really enjoyable, and I like the way that you present everything and your criteria and how you walk through stuff. Because one of the things I watch at the end of the year, I love all of the top 10 legacy, top 10 masterpiece, top 10 classified, bottom 10, you know, all this kind of stuff, and your format is as enjoyable as any of the rest of them. It would be,
thanks.
you know, if you're looking for ideas, I really enjoyed that a lot. And, you know, not that my opinion is the be all and end all, but you should give it some thought because you're really good at those.
Yeah, I will. I just got to come up with ideas. And Curtis, what do you got going on? What's your tomorrow video on your channel?
Tomorrow video I'll be on with Jesse, and we're talking about all the different size variation in legions. So from, you know, Goblin Legion Builder all the way up to Trolls and even Dragon. So
nice.
Yeah,
Cool. And then in today's video, so that people can watch something while they're waiting, was
today was on Necronominus. So we had a few people on with me, and we looked through the whole Necronominus wave, which should be here within the next few weeks. And just talked about what ideas we have for customizing. It's been like a 2-year pre-order, so we just had to kind of refresh our minds on like what the parts are and what all is included. And there was some really good discussion on it. So yeah, I enjoyed that. Was a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, I got to watch that one. Sweet. Chris, when you gonna come back on again in
Possibly.
Weeks, yeah,
we'll keep in touch.
Better.
I've been a little worried that like now that we're through the yearly things, like you're gonna like bounce out again. But
don't leave him here with me. He deserves better than that.
You're always welcome to be on every week. I just don't want to pressure you.
Yeah, that's cool. This is a long one. Is this a record?
This might be a record.
Yeah, it might be.
All right. It is a long one. Thanks, everybody. And until next time, may the force be with you.
Follow me into the dark.